I am not going to actually stream my intro because Facebook's being dicks. Everybody's being a dick, and I don't like it. So that's fine. I understand. With my paints and stuff. Oh, not my brush though. Oh, my brushes. I had so much painting I did today, you guys. It was ridiculous. I was waiting for Viper because I thought that he was going to get on. But I don't know. I will test and see. I wanted to show my painting to the goof. What's going on? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so I did some painting today, you guys. And this is what it looks like. Check it out. Look, I got, let me make sure I have the, oops, that's not it. This is it. Like this. What do you guys think? I'm all full of paint. But I kind of got the canvas cam set up where, oops, there. I can do it like this. Wait. Uh-oh, wrong way. I got it all messed up. See, I have my OBS in the background. That's why I don't want that part of the camera working. Here, I had it all set up, all nice. There we go. There we go. Little off, crooked. There we go. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? It's weird because that camera, is like, I don't know if it's like a wide shot or what, but it does that weird shit. So, anyways, I was trying. There we go. What you guys think about that? I mean, I could put more pink shadows inside that one, but I haven't decided how I'm going to do that yet. I actually am going to fix all this stuff, this paint around here. It's still actually kind of not completely dry, but I guess gotta try to do a little bit of blending here and there. Otherwise, that one is one of my favorites, I think. Actually, that's actually what I might want to do right freaking now. But I think I'm going to use the gesso on that one to do the outer ring, because I think that that's what is going to match up a little bit better with everything. So let me grab that. My black gesso. Okay. Oh, tell me I did not do that at home. Oh, that'd be so funny. That's entirely possible. I may have left that at home. No. Oh, shit. It's an interesting little dilemma. I don't want to go buy more, but I mean, it's not like I'm never going to use it. Huh. Is that a no? Ouch. StreamYard. I didn't know that he didn't know that I was going to be here. Chirp. So I'm just waiting. So I feel like I would love to be able to add this missed game to my thing in case I ever want to play it, but I can't. So I'm just kind of waiting, to see. Let's see. Here's that from my Fridays. But I wonder if I can put the picture that I got to figure out how to do that. So what if I go in here? Ew, will this change? No, that won't change the background. Nope, that's not going to change either. Oh, there he is. Mr. Spam himself. Spam the man, spam. I texted. What do you mean not there? I mean, this motherfucker gotta be fucking smart ass. Come on now. Okay. What time do you start? I wonder if he starts at like 3:30, because if he does, then I start at 6. Yes! 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 I start at 6. Anyways. What in the world? It's not that hard. I mean, it doesn't have to be that fucking hard. Like, I don't understand why people do that to me. Why? It doesn't. I'm just trying to be nice. I can't. Oh God, Lord Jesus, help a broad out. Help a broad out. Yeah, right. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna. You're genius. You people are geniuses. Okay, set or can you send me a picture of it? I think I start at 6. I mean, I don't know. What the hell? Are you going to come in? What the hell? Oh, there you are. What the hell? Oh, there you are.
Can you hear my audio?
I can hear you just fine. But what is that?
That's you. That's you. That's what you sound like on my computer. I don't know what's going on. I restarted.
Listen, you have me on in the background.
I restarted. I can hear you.
Oh, really? Thank you. I can still hear me a little bit. Boy, I'm loud.
Yeah, for some reason, you were coming through all garbled until I plugged in my headphones.
I think it's your computer.
Ah, what the fuck is that?
It's Mr. X and Toe.
Who?
Toe.
The hell is Toe?
That's his big toe.
Huh?
It's his big toe.
I don't understand.
That's Mr. X's big toe. Come on.
I don't watch that.
You know what? I missed the whole big toe scene as well, so I have no idea. There's for anybody if anybody wants to join up.
Hey, it's silent.
Yeah, I see silence there. Hi, honey. How are you, sweetheart? You know what? Silent could be a girl or a boy. We don't know.
We don't know. Yes. God. I read that as your favorite goddess, and I'm like, yep, that's. Oh, she said godless. My bad.
Yeah. You know, I had this little stand, and I can't find it. I had bought this little stand. I think I bought it at the dollar store. It's really cool. A little phone stand. Oh, you know where it is? In a bathroom.
I missed.
I wonder why. I'm
famous author Robert Galbraith. Why should I care?
Who's that?
To me. I don't know.
Oh, you're not the godless heathen. Oh, you're so funny.
Who popped in?
Nobody.
Uh-huh. Really?
Yep.
Oh boy. Well, someone has told me the Robert Galbraith thing before, but I don't know.
Google the name. We're gonna Google. Let's see. Can I? Well, I don't. Why don't I have a screen here where I have a second screen?
You have 3 screens, Gina.
I know I have 3 screens, but what I'm wondering is I gotta figure out on my OBS how to just. Oh, here we go. How to just have me and, or if I want to put up a side-by-side picture of like me with like a web page. So I have to figure that out.
Well, you can.
I know. Scene. So I'm going to add with
anybody else like Rolos?
Yeah.
She's like most of the country. That's why they're still being made. Dumbass.
Wait, did you say?
Hey, I got this at the Spam Museum. We went there.
When?
I don't remember.
Enter. So okay, so we're gonna create this. So I got a new thing, and so sources. I add a source. Display capture.
Yep.
Add existing.
And your primary monitor will be the one that'll come up on.
Oh. Can I change it?
Yeah. What you do is you take whatever's on 1 or 2 or 3 and you shift it over 1, 2 or 3.
Okay. Add existing. Okay. Oh, display cap. Okay, add existing. Okay. Create new. I don't have one. Display capture. Okay. Hit OK. Yep, I see. Okay, great. Let me see. Oh, wait. No, I can do it to 2. I can actually it actually says display 1, 2, or 3.
There you go.
Shut the front door.
I'd rather put something in the front door.
Oh, don't be gross. What are you doing? Okay. So if I do this and I put the OBS over on this side.
I know who texted you.
Oh, shut up. Smart. You're such a smart ass. Okay, so then if I want to do this, a new tab,
Whip it out, Gina.
Stop, smart ass. Okay, hold on. Let me close that. Okay, so then I would go to, what am I looking up? Robert
It's a okay. Well, I'll let you figure it out.
Galbraith.
So the other day I was, or
Yeah.
last 2 days ago, I was putting in puck lights.
What are those?
Are you seriously don't know what a puck light is?
Puck light?
Puck. You know what a puck is?
Yeah. Oh, one of those that are.
Do you know what a
okay, yeah, I
light
know.
is?
Right.
A puck light. Yes, I was putting
It
in.
might be my coworker because I asked them to send
not.
me.
But that's okay. So I went to drill the hole for the puck lights. And so I whipped out the old hole saw, chucked it in the drill, and went to drilling. And if you've never used a hole saw in a drill, sometimes they loosen themselves up, especially if they're large.
Yeah, I have used a hole saw. I know exactly what you mean.
Right. Well, a hole saw you drill and then you pull down a little bit to check the progress. Well, I did that, and the thing fucking fell down and hit me in the face, scratching the shit out of my glasses. It's right there.
Was it still spinning? Thank God you had your glasses on. It's all fun and games till someone loses an eye.
No, the shit fell out. And I pulled it down to see how far to see if I'd cut through the surface yet.
Mm-hmm.
When I did that, it came off the drill and pulled itself out of the hole and think hit my glasses and then went down my nose and in the face, hit my arm, and then went onto the floor. And I was like, God damn it. And so I chucked it back in there and I gave the chuck a real good crank and a couple of test spins. And the third test spin, the chuck let loose and it came off again. And I was like, why do I pay good money for these?
You got to get one of those that is just a solid piece. Are you talking about those ones that have like the coil kind of a, you know what I mean?
Drill.
Well, I know what it is, but it's an attachment.
No, it's a drill.
A hole saw?
No. Why did the drill chuck, which is a Jacobs, let go of the drill chuck? Even after I cranked it down and it did the locking, I have Makita drills. I don't, not Makita, Miller. I have Makita. Those aren't the ones I use.
I
have Milwaukee drills. They're good. They're good drills. I did everything to put the header in today, and I didn't have to charge the battery or anything, and it was great. It put double. Oh, my brain's not working. Double jack studs and a header in tonight, and it didn't die. And hey, there you go. You did it.
I know. I'm trying. Can you see it okay?
No.
Okay. I'm going to have to make it bigger.
That's what she said.
Okay.
No, you're not into that. Oh, my bad.
And even bigger, do you think? I got an idea.
Yep, she likes it even bigger.
God, you're terrible.
You don't have to do it in OBS. You could do it directly in StreamYard.
Oh, sure. That's what I just did. Is that okay? Better? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so.
Cool.
Cool. Try.
Why do you have two gildeds?
I don't know.
We could get rid of the other one because I definitely pinned the one to your thing for you.
Okay. What do we got here? Black Heart full question and answer about what's the motivation and spirit behind. Okay, who is this? Let's check out his F book. It's a dude. It's a girl.
Okay. If you follow Silent on Gilded, you'll get the joke. Or if you've been around a while, you get the joke.
I don't get the joke.
No, there's no reason to get the joke. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's basically what I'm hearing. Okay, that's fine. Here we go. We'll just do this. There. Wait. There you go. I'm just kidding. Okay, there. I'm wording how to do. Hey, where did you go? Get your ass up here.
I'm right here. Oh, other one.
That one.
Good night, Rick. Have a nice night, buddy.
Good night, Rick. Actually, he sent me a text. He went to bed. He actually, when he goes to bed and he says good night out here, he actually does log off and says, yeah. No, seriously.
I'm not denying what you said at all.
Okay, so it's funny. Jim,
what'd you do?
I don't know if Jim Carrier. What? I didn't do nothing. What'd you do?
I didn't do anything.
Jim Cherry or the GT.
Huh?
When you sent already, but I would rather have the toe one for my wall. I could see if Jim can sell the one you made for Mr. X and then send you the money. Need to get Jim's permission. The beach one, I don't know yet who would want it, but the logo toe one, I for sure want. So he wants this painting. He's like, I need it for my wall. It's super cool. Did you see?
Yeah, I'm reading it.
Lame. Hey, I think the toe came out great.
It sure did.
You know, what do you know? It don't
Check
get
your
better
damn email, girl. You got 3 that are important that you need to to take care of.
Oh,
yep,
that retirement stuff, and then
yes.
I don't know what else. I'll have to look.
Your Best Buy. Did you already use your gift certificate from Best Buy?
No, I seen I had a $20 one. I was like,
$20, and then your credit card payment is due.
Already paid. Which one?
Wells Fargo. 9/13.
Oh, really? I already paid that.
Oh, I'll delete that.
I already paid it. I just sent that I paid it all off, and then I charged, I think, something on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. It was only because my freaking card got locked up. Oh, so I don't know.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they all were getting all locked up. I was like, what in the hell? I still think that card might be locked up. It's fine. I don't care. I'm going to need to get a new one. I keep telling them my new address, and they keep not sending it. So he wants to buy this one. What do I do? Because I'm like, and I already said, I kind of want to keep this one for myself because I really liked it so much.
Sell it.
What? Sell it?
You sell it.
For how much?
Well, how much time do you have in it?
A week.
How many hours? 6? 8?
Probably 8 hours.
Okay, take your hourly rate times 8.
I get paid $8 an hour?
No.
Do you know how much I get paid an hour? Yeah.
Uh-huh. I do.
Yeah,
$250.
you can afford this.
Give him a discount. $250.
He couldn't afford it. Well, all right. I'll think about it.
You could give him a discount half price, do $125. Or quarter price, do $62.50.
But it was so much fun to paint. So, I mean, if he wants it, I just, this one I really wanted to keep. You know what they say, that when you want to keep something, you like put the most astronomical price on it so that nobody buys it?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have a store full of shit I don't want. All of it's for sale. Because I want the money instead.
Hold on. I'm going to tell him I'm on StreamYard.
Somebody popped into Yahoo chat. No, not Yahoo. What's that shit called? YouTube.
YouTube. Hi, whoever's on YouTube, come and say hi. You want a link? Here's a link. Here's a link. Paste. And if you porn bomb me, I will fucking be mad. No porn bombing.
Oh, I want to be so upset.
Okay. Hold on. I'm going to send an email real quick. Let's see. View message. To her. Oh, I got to put sealer on this one. So if I put, I kind of want, look at you. How did you get that if you don't have a green screen?
I'm in my living room. I know what you're talking about. I even play a piano.
I want to do that.
It's called virtual background.
I don't know how that would work on mine.
You have a green screen. Oh, you didn't bring it with you, did you?
I do have it with me.
Oh, yeah. Just hang it up behind you. Man, I'm oily.
I don't know where it would. Video. There's just backgrounds.
Yeah, just behind you. No, go to your settings. Virtual background.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Mm-hmm. What's that?
That's the fire, baby. That's the fire.
Well, if you were to
Weird.
get out of the wall, oh my God, you're floating above your couch. What are you gonna do? You should get your green screen and set it up behind you, not the whole damn thing.
Okay. I don't like it. None. Okay, cancel. There we go. Yes. Oh, I realized what was going on there. Oh my gosh, I'm a goof.
You should make that the paint what's the name of it?
What do you mean?
Canvas cam.
Yes.
You should make the canvas smaller. Or move yourself down so we don't see your box of paints. And we're here to see you.
What?
Now, I really can't stare at your tits unless the picture's
Unless
bigger.
the camera is down more.
No, the picture's bigger. I mean, nice tits, There you go. Wow. So shapely.
What? Yeah, there.
I said, oh, wow. So shapely.
Yeah, there. I'm just messing. I'm messing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I want to do a few little things. I do want to sign it. I don't know. Should I just sign the back of it?
Sign in front. Do your little thingy.
Like right down in here? Right here?
Like over in here.
Should I do it in silver?
You should do it in gold because you're gold eagle.
I should learn how to paint a little feather. Like a little baby feather. I would
line and then the little fucking
yeah, I think that would be fun.
But in gold.
Yeah. You know, I personally,
They'll
I
call you
like
Gold Eagle Feather Girl.
Gold Eagle Feather Girl. I have my own.
It's only as
did I tell
stupid
you
as
that
it's
I actually got a eagle feather once?
Nope.
You don't know what the significance of having an eagle feather is, now do you, young man? It's very, very cool. It's like a freaking award or a trophy in the Native American community. Like when you get an eagle feather, that means that you're highly respected.
So which ones are those?
What do you mean? What?
No.
What do
I'll
you
just piss
mean?
you off. Well, you've got American Indians and you've got Native Americans, which the American Indians killed.
Oh, dog.
Chased them all the way down to the southern part of South Africa or South America.
Well, if this is true, they would kill each other. The natives did.
Well, they did. And that's
They
why
did.
skeletons that
You
are not
could-
American Indian, they're not.
There were even
You're
cannibal tribes.
Like I said, there are skeletons that exist in
Mhm.
universities that are not Native American, or they're Native Americans, but they're not American Indians. They're not Europeans,
Mhm.
and they're not the folks that were here when we got here, as in the Europeans.
I got here in 1972, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm a little younger than you.
Listen.
Like I said.
Yes.
But that's
you
kind of
said,
cool that
what?
they've, that whole thing is really kind of neat when you actually dig around. And then you start talking to, like family members, and they're like, "Oh no, we came from the Earth." And you giggle a little bit, and you're like, "Yeah, genetically, you came from Asia." So all my kids are half Asian.
You already have a half Asian child, don't you?
All of my kids are half Asian
Oh, Jesus.
because the American Indians came from Asia. The other ones are Aboriginals from Australia.
But your wife's not full blood.
You're right. And there is no such thing as full blood. That doesn't exist.
You know what?
Unless
We're
you go back
all-
to Asia.
We're all Native Americans at this point.
No. Well, yes, I am an
Fucking
American,
are.
but I'm not Native American.
So I'm Native American.
Are you?
No, I'm Mexican.
You're in California.
No, I am. It is Native American though, and in fact, I had my dad do the whole, what do you call it? The whole DNA thing, where
Really?
yeah.
Don't. You'll find fucking family members you didn't want. What the hell is classmates.com? What the fuck is that?
That is something that,
Bam.
yeah. Is that mine?
No, it was my mom and dad's. I manage many emails.
Weirdo.
Yeah, well.
You like doing that shit. You're weird. They need to hire you at my job because they don't like their emails. They hate it because they got to go through like 1,400 a day. I swear to God. It's a lot of email. Totally.
I went through 121,000 of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like 2 were important. The rest of them were garbage.
Really?
What are you re-StreamYarding for?
Oh, because I just wanted to make sure I put that in there. Oh.
You did. Multiple times.
Does that go in Twitch too?
Yeah.
So I purposely haven't played any fucking music, and the reason is because did you see on all of my things it says copyright claim, copyright claim, copyright claim? I'm like, what the fuck?
It's all the music you had playing in the background has copyright.
I'm like, okay, so music wasn't made for me to listen to and enjoy and use for the things that I like to do, and I like to sit and paint and listen to music. So it's for my fucking enjoyment. That's all I'm doing, and I
Right.
happen to be
But you
recording.
can't rebroadcast that.
Broadcasting that. It's not.
That's why you
They
should.
can put their
That's why you
fucking
should do
earplugs
this.
in if they don't want to listen.
You should put it on one of those little ear thingies and listen to it on your phone, and that way you're enjoying it, but you're not rebroadcasting it because
Fuck
that's
that bullshit.
well,
I'm gonna
somebody-
learn. You know what, motherfucker? I'm gonna learn how to play a fucking instrument and make my own
Pelly?
music. Yeah. Hi,
You're
Paul.
you're gonna learn how to pelly it.
Learn how to what? Shut up.
You said I'm gonna learn how to pelly it, not play it. You're gonna pelly it.
I'm gonna learn. I remember saying, Paul, tell me. You have to play covers. I have to play covers.
Yes, covers.
What is that? Like cover, like the whole. What do you mean by that? Because every fucking song is a fucking cover. The fuck?
Many
I'm singing,
songs are covers. Yes.
oh, somebody else who's playing the song.
Yes.
Or
Or you can use the YouTube gallery of a cover is a song when if somebody has a song, let's say the Beatles, and you were to play that song, you playing the song doesn't negate their rights to the song, but it creates a situation where you have a fair use of their intellectual property, and so you don't run afoul of their copyright claim. And that someone rebroadcasting your copyrighted work that you don't claim DRM to is okay.
DRM? What?
You're right. Your digital rights management. You don't do a DCMA. I'm sorry, DCMA and DRM are interlinked.
Okay.
So, like, if you and I were to sing "Fart on My Birthday," we could use that intellectual property because it's our own talents changing the format a little bit. But if we were to play the original song and not pay the person who owns that, then it could be a problem.
Oh, see, okay, so I'll look into that.
Ola Ghost will not mute you. Is it Hello Ghost or Ola?
Who the fuck's that? Is that an app?
That's a band that my wife likes.
Okay.
It's
you know what?
I guess one of her friends was in it at one point. Funny part is like every Sum 41 video out there in the world has her best friend within the first 2 minutes of the song because Sum 41 was from the same place that she was from, and all of her friends are in the video.
Oh, fun.
I think I showed that to you one time in your babe cave lair.
I think you did. It does ring a bell. I do recall.
Yeah, it shows you. There's like this girl. That's my wife's best friend. Right. Oh, there she's again. There she's again. And there's nope. She's right here.
Paul, I need to ask Paul what he thinks about my picture that I did of Mr. X.
And his toe.
And his toe. And toe. I want to know. What do you think, Polly? Pablito, what you thinking? Oh, you got my babe cave up. Well,
we've been to the babe cave.
Yeah, it's badass, ain't it?
What I need to do is I need to come up there for like a solid weekend.
Oh, that'd be nice to work on designing.
Read what he said.
Not picking up to scammer frauds.
That, yep. Or paid actors, or they do not.
They don't. I know that they don't care about me.
Not
It's
at all.
not their job to care about me. They care about their audience. That's all they care about, and making money, and that's their hustle. It is what it is. It's a fucking business. Listen, I did this. I thought it was fucking hilarious. Yeah, I think it's hilarious. I think I did a great job with it.
It does look great. I do appreciate your paintings. But what I was saying is I need to come out there for like a weekend and we need to make you a shower in your
Oh my god.
you need to get a shower installed in the in your babe cave.
You're preaching. Preach it, baby. Preach it. Cause that would be so amazeballs if you could do that.
I totally can. But you know, I just gotta get the time and right now with my
I'm gonna do
4 projects at home, it's just not gonna happen.
Oh, you know what? I know what you mean. I mean, we all got a lot of projects going on and shit. So,
So I laminated that header today
uh-huh.
for the and in laminating the header, the glue got on my hands, and I can't get the
Really?
shit off. The glue that you use to laminate the wood,
Yeah,
I can't get it off.
that's not good.
No, I've tried everything, including sanding.
It's like that contact cement stuff, right?
No, this has got some. It's it's Loctite type. It's a bond. It's a construction adhesive from Loctite. Anyway, so it's doing that, and then I some of the dust from the insulation got on my hands,
Yeah.
and now my hands are like black, and I can't get this shit off. I've tried everything. I haven't tried gasoline or turpentine.
It's not like
I know-
fiberglass shit inside there, right?
That's the last remodel was done in the 50s.
So maybe?
It's funny, the price tags are still on the electrical boxes and stuff.
How much?
29 cents for the electrical box.
Wow. That's
And
crazy.
I saved them. I used a screwdriver and I pulled the boxes out, and don't delete System 32, smartass. And
What?
I saved them because they had 45 cents written on them. And my dad worked at Coast to Coast in the early 70s. And sometimes if I bring him a tag, he's like, I made these tags.
No way. That's funny.
Yeah. And so it's funny. Sometimes you can find stuff that, connects to history.
That is pretty funny. I think, anyways.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. I took a wall or a panel off. One of my kitchen got all fucked up. I took a panel off of the wall, and behind there it said like 1952 or 1950, whatever. Whenever they did the house, maybe it said 58 or whatever. When they did when they had put that in there, it was kind of neat. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't found any of that just yet. It's hard to explain because the house has been through several renovations down through the years.
Mm-hmm.
And we've done a lot to it.
Oh, I suppose, yeah.
Well, the house used to sit. You know where it is, and
Yeah.
there's a house that's immediately to the east of it.
Yeah.
The house that I live in used to sit facing east on that lot. all on the corner of those two streets. Somebody and I was talking to my uncle, and he said, "Oh yeah, I remember so and so's name moving the house when I was a kid."
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was talking to him about, this is where I live, and somebody said that it used to be on the corner, but there's no no way. He's like, yes, it was on the corner. I remember Mama so and so moving it, and they built a new foundation, and they hired the local company, and the company, jacked the house up, lifted the whole structure, and moved it down to where it is now, the southwest corner of the lot, which renumbered the house. When they did that, they did a partition of the lot and sold it. And so talking to him as a child, he remembers them doing it because it was a big deal and it's a small town. And then they built the house next to me, which is a much bigger home. And it's kind of cool when the lady that owned it died. It was on the market for about a week, and somebody bought it. Well, the people that bought it are 19 years old.
Oh, my.
Yeah. 19 years old and bought a house.
Are they kids from the neighborhood?
Well, no, they're not kids from our neighborhood. They're kids from the local farm. And my neighbor, who knows everybody, knows them because she's got 5 kids, and they're
involved. Okay.
They're friends with everybody. They're in hockey and basketball and ball and ball. You start adding balls to things. I don't know anything about it. Starting baskets a thing, I'm all about it, but balls, not my thing. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
And so I asked her who bought the house, and she's like, "Oh, it's so-and-so's daughter, and she's dating so-and-so's son." And I was like, "Oh, wow. What are they, stay in the area?" I guess she's, instead of going to college, she's working at the working for the local factory, and that's kind of her thing. And she worked all through high school enough to have a down payment on a house.
Nice.
Pretty quiet kids, and that house is it's a big house. It's probably 3,000 square feet. It's 4 or 5 bedroom.
Really? Maybe she's going to have a big family.
That'd be all right. It'd be par for the neighborhood for sure. We got 5. The neighbor has 5, and the lady next to me had 3, 4. Yeah, she had 4.
Really?
The guy at the end of the corner had 3. Most of them didn't survive being teenagers. They did a lot of drugs and dumb shit, and then the guy, yeah, they died. Yeah, one after the other.
No way.
Yeah, you start doing meth, and that it's not real conducive with things.
No, that sucks. That'll fuck a person up real fast, I'm sure.
Yeah, meth and fentanyl and.
Ooh, yeah. So it ruined my life. I mean, my whole life got.
Were you on fentanyl?
Not me, my ex. Ding dong.
You didn't fuck your life up. You got rid of a piece of shit. Not bad.
Well, yeah. No, I never did fentanyl, and I never want to. I seen what it did. I seen what it does to people.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking horrendous.
What's the blue?
Leave me alone.
Leave you alone?
I'm doing painting. What do you mean, what's the blue?
You just put blue in there, and I don't know what the blue is for.
It's for water.
Okay. Well, I thought the pink was for water at nighttime.
What do pink and blue make?
Babies? I don't fucking know.
Pink and blue make kind of a purpley.
I've seen that color on the water a lot at night or when the sun goes down.
Yeah. Yep.
Mostly in the Indian Ocean and in the Persian Gulf.
Yep. Isn't that cool?
The Persian Gulf is a shithole. Stay away from it.
Oh, I won't go there, I promise.
Yeah, don't.
I'll promise never to leave the country. How about that?
No, I wouldn't play that game. There's a lot of nice islands in the Caribbean.
You wouldn't play that game?
No, I definitely have left the country a lot.
I don't think I don't have any desire to leave the country. I really don't. Is totally the last thing on earth that is on my heart to do. I mean, not even going to Mexico. Fuck. If I want to leave the country, I'll go someplace in Vegas where they have a freaking simulator.
Stay out of Vegas. It's a shithole.
What, Vegas?
Don't go to Thailand and don't go to Vegas.
I've been to Vegas. I've not been to Thailand, and I probably never will go.
Take the worst part of Las Vegas, multiply it by 1,000, and then introduce child pornography, and you've got Thailand in a nutshell.
Yeah. Sick.
Well, at least the part that the ship pulled into when I went there.
That's sickening.
It was terrible.
That is absolutely sick.
Yep. And you hear people defend it. What are you dry brushing on there? White?
Yep. Yeah. Yes, I am. I'm going to do some more. I just got to let some of it dry before I can add colors. So I'm just adding background color so that I can add color. Like if I want
color to add color?
What?
You're adding color to add color.
Yeah. If I add white, then I can have a nicer palette to work with. But this is not dry right here, so it's not staying. It's just getting pushed out. So I'm just gonna leave that for now. I gotta let that dry anyways, because shit's gonna change. It's all gonna change. I'll get all this stuff in this.
Happy little C. We need the boob cam.
You know, it's so funny. It looks so much different. Like the coloring looks. Hold on. I'm surprised that the coloring looks like that.
You should make your canvas cam smaller.
Oh, Mr. X.
Hello.
I'm over here now.
Oh.
He is.
Did you steal that picture?
I just stole it and made it my avatar.
I love it. You know what? I got the original.
OG time. Yeah, but your camera's out of focus.
Stand what? Wait. Oh,
There it is.
Out of focus.
Boom.
I forgot. This camera's out. I was trying to mess with it. I have to actually autofocus this sucker. It's so stupid. I don't know why. Motherfuck. Hold on. I suck. Oh, that's getting worse, isn't it?
It's focusing on your fingers.
Oh, it's getting better. What do you think? Jack?
Perfect.
You love it?
Yeah, this is my favorite one so far. I mean, I like them all in a different way, but this is the logo. This is the main one.
Yeah, I seen it. I was like, fuck. Fuck it. I give up on this camera.
Well, you can see it on my avatar. I mean, what's the difference?
Here, hold on. There you go. All right. So, yeah, I got my new computer all set up, so I've been playing with it a little bit here. But yeah, I was working on this bugger today, and I was like, oh, I gotta send this. And there's actually a couple other ones that I want to work on. But I seen a couple that you had sent, and I was like, oh, I like that one.
Yep.
So I might do it. Thanks for
I'm sending him over to Stony too because she's getting that tattoo.
I can't
Mr.
believe
X.
it. I can't believe it. Are you having her go to a tattoo parlor? Did you guys like literally set one up?
So here's what's happening. Jim is gonna pay the tattoo artist. Now she can get it wherever she wants. She can have the tattoo artist do whatever she wants, but I sent a bunch of different photos and just ideas and all, they can make whatever they want, but it's gonna be of me in some way.
Are you sure? Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, she wants to do it. I mean, she's in it. And I know Jim's paying for it. I know that we're going to stream it live. I mean, obviously, we can't control if Stony doesn't end up doing it or can't do it, or the tattoo artist doesn't allow it. I mean, there's some moving parts, but I mean, we're ready to go whenever they want to do it.
I think that's absolutely hilarious because, I mean, I'm just wondering if she's going to come out with a temporary tattoo, like they can still they can.
Because I asked that was one of the questions. Like, is this going to be one of those henna tattoos that can go away in a? No, it's going to be the real deal. It's not going to be huge or anything. I mean, it might only be, as big as a thumb or something. But she's going to do it. She's going to have it for the rest of her life.
Well, what I'm curious now is where she's going to put this tattoo. Is it going to be along on the other side of the
scissors? I don't think so. I think she's going to do it in some place like, Jim said you can't be in a place where you can't see it at all, but like maybe above the ankle or something.
That is exactly what I was thinking. That what, that would be perfect placement. And I would suggest this one that you've got. Or wait, this one.
Yeah, it's always backwards that way.
I gotta flip, anyways. But yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. I'd say, yeah, you gotta go for this one. Okay.
That's what I told her. I sent this to her. I hope you don't mind. But I sent your painting. I said, it's a logo anyways. I mean, it's the logo of the show. And I said, at least Jim Terry TV 2, the one that I do. I said, you should do that one because it's way more over the top than Jim. But I mean, I can't control. It's her body. She can put on whatever she wants.
Right. Right.
I mean, I'm just happy to have a tattoo and some paintings of me. I mean, I thought being in a magazine was cool, but this is definitely trumping all that.
So wait, you guys, did they put your Mr. X in the Rolling Stone thing too?
No. I'm just saying other stuff I've done before in the past has made it into magazines. And I always thought, growing up being in for example, Fangoria as, a horror movie fan is the biggest to me. That's my Rolling Stone. And I've done that, not as obviously as Mr. X, but as me. And, but no, Mr. X is not going to be in Rolling Stone, although I was involved in that interview they did. I mean, I was there. I didn't say much, but I was there.
Were they asking you stuff?
No, not really me. I mean, like when Miss T or I interjected, it was very obvious she didn't want to talk to either one of us. She wanted to talk to Jim. Oh. So, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, they did an article on Adventures with a Purpose, and nobody even talked about that. Nobody even saw that.
I don't even know who that is.
Adventures with a Purpose is the guy that Jim got into a fight that goes into, obviously he's gotten in a fight with a lot of people, but they have a really big channel and they're known for going in the water and pulling people out of the water that were missing.
Are they locals or?
What's that?
Are they a local or is this somebody else?
I don't know what local is.
Like like Ethan Ralph is a local.
Like finding people? Like location? I don't know.
Lol as in laugh out loud cow.
No, no. This is Adventures with a Purpose. Well, here's the thing with them, and I can tell you this: the main guy got busted and has been indicted for pedophilia.
Oh,
for being a pedophile.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's like everybody bailed on that channel and all this. Jim said that like 6 months ago on different shows, and everybody yelled at him. So Rolling Stone did an article on Adventures with a Purpose after this big scandal in this indictment. Mm-hmm. And nobody saw it. Nobody talked about it.
That's Hollyweird doesn't care about child porn. They're into it.
Well, but here's the weird thing is the lady who's doing the article on Jim is from England, but she works as like an adjunct reporter for Rolling Stone. And then we verified that she actually has done articles, but her articles are really super far left. Like we could tell it was going to be a smear piece until Jim tracked her down, got an interview with her, and she started getting the facts. Mm-hmm. And she started to be like, oh shit. She started realizing she can't, like, Jim's not this bad guy that a couple of the haters had said. So there you go. Yeah. Anyway.
So that's interesting because I mean that was going to be it's upside down here.
Okay. So yeah, what is this?
This is my friend she did a poster, or her husband did a poster of Where's Lowcow.
Oh, okay.
And these are all the internet lowcows, like actual, like Worski and.
What does lowcow mean? Does that mean somebody, like, what does that word mean?
Laugh out loud. And then they just use cow as a thing.
Okay, so they did like a Where's
people.
Waldo almost.
And so,
okay, I get it. That's a lot of artwork. Jeez.
This is a lot of art. Like, there's our friend. It's Claire.
Okay.
Claire.
And then right above Claire.
Am I on there?
You could be probably on the next generation if you'd like to be.
This is an older generation.
Is the guy with the earphones. Oh no, Paul got cut off.
Polly.
Yeah, look, it only made that much of onto the poster. That's Paul.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
But that's one of our friends.
That's pretty cool. I like that kind of artwork. I'm definitely into the comic book artist and the paintings and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's a comic artist. He does a thing online. His name is shotgunshuffle.com.
Okay.
And he's actually a really good artist.
Yeah.
They've got a Fediverse instance called chudbuds.lol. No, it's not. Chudbuds.
I got it right here. Oops, that's not what I want.
Yeah, .lol. Anyway, Chudbuds. And they're really cool folks, and they do really good art. And you guys support your friends.
.lol.
Yeah.
Chudbuds.lol. And
so
I'm going to frame it. I'm going to put
talking
this in
about
the store.
saying, stop sucking up to scammer frauds. What does that mean?
I don't know. Paul, want to explain? Come on up, motherfucker. Just kidding. Just kidding.
We like Paul. Paul's a good guy.
I mean, yeah, I'm just curious. I'm kind of out of the loop of what's going on.
What that's about is because of the whole, because I think Paul and Juliet were actually on a stream with Outlaw Video when I was on there, and that's the first time they met Jim, and
so they're saying Jim is a scammer fraud? Is that what it is?
I think so. That's what he's saying, but I said it's his business. That's what he does, and I keep.
No matter what, I'm not involved in the side that Jim does with private investigating. I mean, I just help him with his show and the entertainment side. But I can tell you this: there are people that are always going to be hurt and upset in true crime when their kids are missing, no matter what it is. It's Jim talks about this, the drugs, the religion, all the craziness that kind of goes around some of that stuff. I mean, hell, I heard you talk to one of them, and these people fight with a lot of people. A lot of them have mental illness, and Jim's a kind of a personality where he'll fight back, and once in a while, a few of them will explode. But Jim, I think a fraud is somebody who just takes somebody's money and does nothing. Right. And you could see Jim's channel and how we work it is. We go overboard with I'm up here at 1 a.m. and I'm about to do another VIP prank for Jim stuff. We go way overboard with giving extra content. A fraud would just take their VIP plus money and do nothing. Yeah,
like SP.
Yeah. Well, he actually does shows, but
I don't know.
I know who you're talking about. It's but his shows, everything that he does.
Okay.
We'll do a psychic. And then 2 weeks later, he has a psychic. Mr. X goes live at the beach. He goes live driving a car. We talk about somebody. Now they're talking about the same thing. And then somebody puts on a wig and does a character. He's doing the same thing. Jim wears sunglasses. He's wearing sunglasses and has the same setup. It's but it's not the same personality. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah.
Where at least with Outlaw in that scenario, his show was about music.
Mm-hmm.
It was something different. So he's there to promote his music, not be a Jim Terry light.
Right. Yeah. And so, so what happened was Paul was on that one, and that's when
that sleeper cell got on there and he said that he was coming for you, Gina, and then he's gonna come for Jim after that, and then all of a sudden he started to fixate on me, Paul, and Juliet, and all of a sudden we're finding all this shit online, and then all of a sudden that Just Observing comes on, and that's
Right.
I'm like,
And that was a former client of Jim's too. So Jim knows her. I mean, doesn't know her in person, but yeah, Salty doxed that sleeper cell guy. He got the name wrong, but he did get the picture right.
okay.
And yeah, I actually mentioned that on my stream, my little pop-up Sunday night stream or Saturday night stream or whatever it was. I think it was Saturday night. But he's got the name wrong. But we've had that information for weeks. We've actually never even discussed it. We wanted somebody else to put it out first. But Salty does have the name incorrect. But he has the picture correct. He's figured out who he is, but not everything is accurate.
Well,
But the guy's a weird.
Who is Salty?
He's a guy who's got a channel. He's involved in the Dylan Rounds case, Salty Pancakes. He's
Okay.
okay.
you know,
I figured. I got you.
I mean, a lot of these people that kind of came through this, I mean, and obviously Gina and Outlaw are kind of like these other people who are coming in from the outside, but like Jim was on the case, but that Salty guy lives around that area. So like there's kind of like, and then it expanded out from there. Then Jim liked Outlaw, and then Jim liked Gina. So it's like people who liked other people kind of expanded beyond that.
Yeah.
So
Way
that's
beyond it.
kind of how a lot of this group got started. And then everybody split off. Like Doug had his own show, but some of those shows were only true crime. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and I'm not really into true crime, but maybe it has something. I mean, I like investigations. Don't get me wrong, because I used to be a police officer. I think you know that by now.
I didn't know that. No.
Oh yeah, so I used to be a police officer.
Good.
Wow.
And yeah, and I actually used to do juvenile investigations, and I used to be a school cop, and you know, I did patrol and stuff like that. And then let's see.
On the res.
I worked on the res on an Indian reservation as a police officer.
So what's that like?
Working on the res?
Yeah, like so. I'm assuming you're Native American to be able to be a police officer. You have to, right? Yeah, I'm guessing.
In order to be
Right?
a police officer, you got to be Native American. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well,
sure,
to be
okay.
a police officer on the Native American reservation, you have to be Native American,
Actually,
right?
On
American
the
Indians don't give a shit.
they do have a Native preference, and it is probably because I look more Native. I'm actually Mexican. So my dad's Mexican and my mom
Closer to the Indians that are there than they're here.
Wow. Let me ask you this question. So I got a question for you. I was driving, and I've told this story every once in a while, but I've never told it to you. I have problems driving on the freeway long distance. Okay. I was trying to get back to Vegas, and I was taking some back roads to get to Vegas and not ever drive on the freeway. I was out near Morongo Casino, which is off the 10. It's on the way to Palm Springs.
Mhm.
And the only way to get around Morongo was I was going to have to go onto the freeway. This is when I had vertigo really bad. And I was in the back side of Morongo. And obviously there's a giant casino on the front side of it. And they would not let me drive through their back roads. And they said, are you Native American? Are you? And I'm like, obviously not. No. And they're like, okay, we can't let you on. I was like, what the fuck? Why can't I just pass through here? But they wouldn't let me go through the gates.
Tribal lands.
Yeah, tribal. And so why couldn't I just drive through there?
They're probably just saving your life. They don't know what you're going to do. They've had a lot of people. Why would you need to go out on why? If you're not from around there, why are you traveling through that? It's suspicious to them.
Right. And
Because
what
you're
I
not
said is
aware.
I have problems driving on the freeway. This is the only way to cut through and cut off that chunk of the freeway. And it would have saved me about 10 or 15 miles on the freeway to cut through there. And I probably could have got some gas at Morongo and this and that, and then cut the final bit down to about 5 miles. Like I could probably handle 5 miles on a freeway, but the 20 miles is going to be hell.
Some tribes are just like that.
Yeah, they just wouldn't let me through. And I tried to explain to them, they didn't even care.
No, they don't. They won't, and they don't care. They're sovereign. They can. You notice this is something that's interesting. You'll never hear or see a newscaster on tribal land.
That's
You
true.
don't hear about anything happening on tribal land.
No. Well, I know this. I can tell you this. I got a buddy of mine who was an investor in one of my films, and he ran a carpeting company. Okay. He owned the carpeting company. He did a lot of carpeting at that Morongo base, which obviously I always talk about that because that's the big one where the casino's at. And he said that place is a fucking pigsty. Like there's so many, like they just get a new car, they get an old car, it breaks down. Instead of buying a new one, they just getting another one or fixing it, they buy a new one.
They don't.
He just said there's a lot of drugs, a lot of drinking, and it's just a dump. And now the casino's really nice, but like the reservation behind it is a dump. He's just continuously getting money from the casino, so they just get new carpet every couple, a year or two.
It's no ownership.
Yeah,
it's a reservation.
So I never seen that, but he explained it to me.
It's one of the first experiments in socialism that we had in America, and it's exactly what you think it is. If you don't own it, why should you take care of it?
And a lot of people have said this, and this is going to kind of sound bad, and I said this a couple days ago, but those Seminole Indian Casino, which is in Tampa, the area that I'm from, that used to be when I was in college in the 90s, late 90s, that was a dump. It was a bingo hall. Now it looks like a Vegas resort. So when the Mormons came in actually and started kind of reorganizing that, and I've talked about the Mormon stuff before, but they actually helped a lot of those tribes. Like those places were shitholes till the people came in and helped them. Now they look like Vegas resorts 20 years later, 25 years later.
Maybe they got
so a lot of people, whatever their route was back in the day was not working, is my point. You know what I mean? They needed some help. And they got it, and it exploded. Somebody saw a money-making opportunity. I only started looking into it recently because of that Prop 26 in California.
What was that about?
Prop 26 and 27 was about sports gambling. Both of them were. 26 would allow sports gambling in California to happen on Native American, tribal lands. Like they would have a sports book there, which, okay, great. 27, you could have it anywhere. And tribal places didn't want it to be anywhere because they thought they would lose money. Well, both of them got slaughtered. Both of them got killed. 26 was closer to passing. But anyway, we people can smoke weed in California. Why can't I bet on the Lakers?
Right.
So, that's my opinion on it. It's like a lack of, I can go to Vegas a couple miles down the road or a couple hours down the road and bet on whatever I want, but not here. But so anyway, so that's why I started looking into that again recently, but everybody always would bring it up. And you're right. I've never heard of anybody have any real stories or certainly anybody that was a police officer on tribal land like that. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, no. So where I worked on one of the biggest main reses that's here in Minnesota, and they actually have 3 districts, which in 3 different counties, so it's spread throughout a huge portion of Minnesota.
Okay.
And when I first started, they owned a lot of land, and it's trust land and stuff like that, but they didn't have any like stores. They just had the casino. By the time I left there, they had a grocery store, a gas station, a resort. It was just ridiculous. They have a lot of these. I'm curious about these treaties and why it is that only the natives, have this, like they have nailed the freaking market on the gambling. And I'm going to guess, do you know anything about it?
I don't know why, but I know that there are certainly tribes in California that don't have casinos, and it might have to do with their numbers. The numbers are too small, or the land isn't. Obviously the Morongo reservation is right near the 10. And it's on the way out or in of Los Angeles, right on between Palm Springs and as you get into San Bernardino. So it's like a great place to stop for gas, and then it grows off of that. I think you're talking about the White Earth Indian Reservation. That sound correct?
There's White Earth. Yep. Well, I wasn't on White Earth. I worked for a different one.
Okay.
North.
But the point is, I don't know all the ins and outs because there's certainly some that are over there near the Salton Sea and that are out in the middle of nowhere. But I don't know. See here, let me back up. Here's my problem. I'm going to say something that's probably unpopular. My great grandparents were the first generation Americans in my family. They came from New York, and they went to Ohio to work in the steel industries and whatever industries that were there at that time. Okay. So they weren't involved in the Civil War. They weren't involved in any Native American or Trail of Tears or any of that bullshit. So it's like, here's my attitude. I know this is probably a horrible attitude.
No, where you're going.
What do I have to do with any of that? It has nothing to do with me.
Exactly.
The Trail of Tears bullshit is exactly what it is. It was a sect of Indians that wanted to form their own nation. And instead of, in the United States was like, no, either you assimilate or you get the fuck out. And
Right.
so they said, we're getting the fuck out. And they said, okay, well, go there. And so they went on their Trail of Tears to there where they wanted to be, which was not part of the United States at that point. And that's where that came from. The problem was the reservation system was originally set up. They could own land. They owned their land.
Right.
And the land ownership was a bonus to them. They could sell it. They could develop the property if they wanted to. And then comes along Roosevelt and his communist piece of shit fucking attitude and decided to federalize within the reservation system their communal living style.
Okay.
They could not sell the systems. They could not sell the land. And the reservation system itself was drying up because people were selling their lands as they didn't want to be a part of the reservation system anymore. They wanted to sell it to people who were willing to pay them money for it.
Understood.
Then the Great Depression hit because of, the 16th Amendment. But these guys, they did not want their great experiment to fail. And they didn't. They've propped it up, and they've kept it going, and they've exported it to, I don't know, downtown LA,
Right.
downtown Minneapolis, downtown Chicago.
Minneapolis, definitely.
I hear, and
It's
my
the
thing is
same.
this
It's the same bullshit, just with a different group of folks, and the ones that go, "This is bullshit," move off.
right.
Yep.
And I've also heard that if you
Like
commit
my
a
wife.
crime, let's say you're a Native American, and tell me this, Gina, because I'm curious about this. Like let's just say I'm a Native American, I'm Morongo, I'm part of that tribe or whatever, and I commit a crime out in San Bernardino, drugs or something like that, or whatever. It could be anything, robbery, and I run to the reservation and I get on there. I'm safe within that area. Is that true? No.
Mm,
Tricky. No. If you
yeah.
get on the tribal lands, you go to the tribal council. But
Yeah,
if
like you
commit
would
a
have to, like, I'm basically,
off-
what I understand is like if you're tribal, you're protected once you get back onto that
No,
land.
no, it depends because it depends on the tribe. Because
really does.
I worked on Mille Lacs, and so Mille Lacs is part of what they call has adopted Public Law 280, which is which basically says that as a sovereign government in the state of Minnesota that lies within the state of Minnesota or within a state, you have to either you have to have some sort of law. Okay, so you have to have some sort of way to arrest or hold people accountable. So with Public Law 280, that means that the tribe has recognized Minnesota state law as their own, or the state's law as their own law for the tribal lands.
Okay.
However, they still have tribal courts. But and you can charge anybody that commits a crime on.
You could charge them. Shit ain't gonna happen.
With the tribal, yeah, with the tribal.
Well, it might. Depends
or
on what part of the
court.
family they're from.
Yeah. If you're native and you're from that tribe, they want you only to do tribal because they don't like their people in the government system. They don't want them tracked. They don't want them bothered. And
Right.
that's a way for them to take the children away.
I understand. And I also heard something too, because I dated this girl and she was African American and Native American.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's kind of mixture and all that kind of stuff. And she wanted to get access to the tribe. I don't know what it's called, like some kind of
Certificate of blood.
and they because she's black, basically, essentially. I mean, I guess she's half black. They did not want that at all.
It's
Like if she was
because
half
it's
white
Native-
and Native American, sure, but she's like, yeah, there's no way.
Her
Even some of
COB
them
will
even,
be
like-
as diluted as it needs to be. But the thing is, she has to prove her lineage. And
She
then
did.
Then once you get your COB,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Black, white, purple, whatever the other mixture is. There is no such thing as a solid.
Yeah, they do a
The Indian-
quantum.
the
It
Indian-
seems like, I mean, at
Indian
least
doesn't
what I
exist.
understood it, anybody who's black, they don't necessarily want them. This is Carolinas I'm talking about.
Racists are racists, and they exist in all societies.
Sure.
But But,
they,
you
I mean,
know,
it's an interesting part of
honestly,
our community in the United States. I don't hear people talking about it. It doesn't come up
And they
very
won't.
often. But I brought up a lot of stuff about it before, and I sound like certainly an asshole. But it's like, I don't understand. Like, here's one thing. I live in an area called Playa Vista, California. It used to be where Howard Hughes had this special spacecraft that he built, the Spruce Goose. It's a kind of Silicon Beach thing now, where YouTube actually and all these different companies are at. And when they were building Playa Vista, there was an area in here, and they're like, can't build there. This is tribal land. There's tribal people that are buried here. I mean, every place used to be fucking tribal land. I mean, there's not a place I can turn. So I said to somebody, I said, where's your fucking deed at? And that pissed. I just said it kind of as a dick. I said, well, if you don't have a deed, you don't own anything. I don't care who. I mean, I'm sure there's people buried everywhere, but not everything was, I mean, so prove it. I mean, I have a deed for property I own.
you have a title back to the
How many
land.
people you got buried
Yes.
there?
I don't have any. There's nobody there that I know of. I do have some silver buried on the property, but good luck finding that without a metal detector. But anyway, the point is, it just seems like any place somebody can point and say that's Native American land at some point. Sure,
Got it. and then somebody traded them 50 beads for, that
right. And
property.
whoever took that over from them, I wasn't involved in that. I'm paying taxes now in 2022. Like, what do I have to do with that?
And you were never going to
Nothing.
finish paying it off ever.
Actually, you know how much that property cost me that I own? $5,000.
What's it cost you in taxes every year?
$100 and something. It's in Los Angeles County too.
That's
Yep.
pretty good because we own land in Riverside.
Where?
And Riverside County was a lot higher than that.
Like,
Yeah, this is in Palmdale. There's a lot of these auctions that's Antelope Valley where that Danny girl lives, but it's the closest in Los Angeles County, but also the closest to what we call the extended zone in a 30-mile zone. It's the closest to that, but it's still the furthest out in Los Angeles. It's right on the edge of Los Angeles County. So,
Man, I used to live in Lake Elsinore. Fuck that fucking place. Let me tell you what.
Lake Elsinore. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. But it's just desert land. It's in mountains and stuff. So
it is. It's a beautiful area, but goddamn, Riverside County is a fucking nightmare. That place
I know.
is insane.
Yeah, I've been out there one time. It's weird.
It is. It's absolutely. If we get on the other side of the mountains, you're in. Was it Eureka? No, that's not it. I
me
got on
look
the
it
other
up.
side.
I'm going to look it up real quick. I can tell you one area, and I don't know if it's Riverside County, but are you familiar with Norco?
Yeah, Norco. It's just north of. It was the next stop off of the 15 was Norco.
Yeah, so okay,
Actually,
that's correct.
my wife's family's all mostly from Norco and Moreno Valley and
Okay, so you know the area I'm talking about. I mean, that's that general.
Yeah.
You're a little bit south of where I'm talking about. But Norco, Gene, I'll tell you this real quick, is an area that's probably east of Anaheim where Disney is.
Yep.
And it's interesting because the town is based around being a horse town. So when you go to the bank, there's like, instead of sidewalks, the sidewalks are all dirt. You can take your horse and, like a fucking Western town, hook up your horse to, like, the wooden pole and go into the bank.
Yeah. Norco's signs are pretty.
Still here in Minnesota in some places.
Yeah,
Right,
down
it's just like
south
for
near me.
Los Angeles County, like on the outskirts of like it's kind of crazy. It's not really Los Angeles County, but it's close enough that you could get there. It's crazy.
We spent
that
7
kind of
hours
thing
on 92.
It's a nice area
91.
too. I don't know as much about Lake Elsinore. I mean, because I haven't spent much time over there. But
Norco's the next town up. I mean,
yeah.
And you get into Norco. Norco's got beautiful streets. They got beautiful signage, and you're just like, okay.
They got a river that goes through it that I was looking at filming something there. That's why I was checking it out. I was like, well, you got horseback riding. You got a tiny river. The Santa Ana River goes through. It's not a big river, but I was like, it's got everything here. And it's far enough out that everybody's hand won't be out. So I was like, this could work, but then we didn't end up doing it. Went elsewhere.
The huge FedEx building out there.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures online of Norco, and there's people walking around the neighborhood with their horses. Like, there's no sidewalks. They're like a little dirt path. Badass. It's a nice area.
Everywhere, huh?
Now, I know that Jesse Ventura, we were talking about him before with Minnesota. He did something with the tribes. He did something that he negotiated something with them when he was in office. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember. Where are you going?
I gotta be to work in 3 hours, baby.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Bye. Have a good night.
Night.
Actually,
Is
I
that
don't
your
know.
husband?
Huh?
Is that your husband? Boyfriend?
No.
He said called you baby.
No, I'm
I know
just
you
a
guys
friend.
married. Where's the rings at?
He's my friend.
Okay.
I call everybody
in
baby,
Minnesota?
baby. I call everybody baby, baby.
He called you baby.
Yes, I'm
Oh,
in
he's back.
Minnesota, but I'm about 4 hours away from her.
Okay.
I gotta go.
Long
Good night,
drive.
guys.
All right. Nice meeting you. Seems like a nice
no.
guy.
Yeah, that's one of my buddies. He actually is helping me with my he's put my computer together. So I got a badass computer now. Oh my god, you should see this shit. It's
What do
like
you got?
it's got like 12 terabytes.
Damn.
Yeah, I've got 3 screens. Dude, you don't even want to see this. Hold on, maybe I should show you. Be
I'll see it. What is it for editing or what are you doing it for?
well, yeah, don't look at my stuff, but yeah, there's 1, 2, 3 screens. Yeah, it's for that. Oh, and check this out. Hold on. Don't look. Don't look.
All right, I'm not looking.
Don't look. Don't look. I'm trying to bring it over here. Can you see my computer?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? We see a gold
Wow.
eagle?
Yeah, it's nice. Jeez, oh man.
Yeah.
I see a ground right now, but I don't see a computer. But
Oh,
I know what
yeah.
you're saying.
Shit, is it? Oh shit, there.
There we go. Come on up. I see the eagle now. Damn.
It's really cool.
Tim, you got all this time and all this money. What do you I mean, you a millionaire or something?
Not quite. I actually no, I am not. I am just a regular blue collar worker.
You're not like a trust fund kid or something?
Fuck no. This apartment is paid for by my work right now because I'm working out of town. And so I
You get a nice view and everything back there.
Yeah, I actually got a different apartment from a couple weeks ago because I went home for a couple weeks and then when I came back, I wanted to have more of a different style apartment where it was more open so that I had like access to everything. Before I'd come home and there was doors everywhere and I was like fucking clearing the room. I was clearing every room before I freaking relaxed. It was funny.
It's craziness. Yeah, I mean, I've never been to Minnesota, but I think I would like it.
Oh, you have to check it out. We have the Mall of America, and they have
I know.
Nickelodeon Universe.
You
Go on.
know what I think about it when I think of Mall of America? You're going to probably laugh at this, but the first ever WCW Nitro was held in that Mall of America. And
Really?
it was the first ever one. It was in the 90s. They used to have a Hulk Hogan pasta place in there.
I believe
okay.
you.
And there was a big scandal afterwards because they had the first ever thing there, and it's real weird. But that Hulk Hogan allegedly slept with like one of the general managers, and there was all kind of lady. There was all kinds of lawsuits and all that stuff. Because
Really?
don't forget, he's from my area in Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete.
Oh, really?
But that
Yeah.
happened in the Mall of Minnesota because they wanted to have a different look, and it was live and all that kind of stuff. So people that are walking by have to watch it.
Yeah, I didn't know that they did that, and you're not gonna believe this, but I absolutely love. Hey, you know what? All I gotta say is wrestling is real. Okay.
Yep.
It's real. When I was a little girl, my dad used to take me to the wrestling matches when it was AWA, and one of my buddies actually was an announcer for wrestling, I believe.
Who?
His name is Keith. His name is Keith, and he's super. Yeah, he's cool. He doesn't care. Keith Haskell. He's really funny, and he's he's
By the way, April 9th, 1995 is that episode in the Mall of America. Let me look up
I totally got
Keith
it.
Haskell.
Yeah, I mean, it was a long time ago, but yeah, when he was I don't know if he was just a ring announcer.
Let me see here. AWA.
I believe it was AWA. Yeah.
I have to admit. So, okay, growing up, and Jim will tell you this because we lived around in the same area, obviously,
Mhm.
you had 3 wrestling shows in the 1980s. You had first AWA, which was the Vern Gagne promotion in your area,
Right,
based out of
yeah.
Minnesota. And then you had World Class Championship Wrestling, which was the Von Erich one out of northern Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas. WCCW. And then you had WWF.
Yep.
So AWA, by far the most boring. I mean, like, bland, vanilla, real slow. Like, it was like the first one that came on. I couldn't stand it.
That was the
Then
weird stuff.
WCCW, World Class in Texas, had the Von Erichs, these young guys who were built great and it had music. Like the first time ever wrestlers were coming to the ring to music and the crowd was crazy and all that kind of stuff. But WWF was the most polished, like the most Hollywood one. So like each one got better. But we kind of liked WCCW because that's kind of what wrestling would turn into.
That's funny. That's actually really funny. But you say that the music didn't start. Now, come on. You had the Road Warriors, and they had their music when they would enter, and they were part of AWA. And so was, what's his name? What's that guy? The Undertaker, and you had, usually it was a bunch of big fat guys.
Well, I think Undertaker was in World Class. I don't know if he was ever in AWA. He was actually Mean Mark in World Class, and then WCW, which was the NWA later. The people who came out of the Verne Gagne stuff, that area, that camp, Ric Flair was trained there. Hogan got his character there. Mean Gene, Bobby the Brain Heenan, like those are all the characters But what ended up happening in WWF is he just went to all the territories. Vince McMahon just rated the best talent. So he just cherry picked the best talent out of everywhere. Hulk Hogan was coming up. So Hulk Hogan gets fired from the WWF, does Rocky 3, and then in that interim, while the movie's coming out, he was in AWA. Then he went to WWF. Iron Sheik was from AWA. So a lot of the people, Verne Gagne at one point, he was kind of that trailblazer guy. He did movies and everything. He was way ahead of his time on a lot of that stuff.
Oh, yeah. And, if you notice that, like a lot of the wrestlers that are coming out of the wrestling because either they're hurt or they're getting older, they're going into the film industry, or they're
sure.
Like what's his name? John Cena and who else was trying to do it?
I mean, Cena is doing it. He's very successful.
Good. He's very good
at Batista, The Rock. There are a lot of guys that are in it. So
yeah.
But Verne Gagne was making his own films, and I think the other thing that was interesting about at least Verne Gagne was he was also doing a show out in Vegas at the Showboat. So that's when they were trying to expand out of the territories and all. Jesse Ventura wrestled in AWA too. So a lot of people came from there. It's just by the time I started seeing it, it was already almost over for them. I'm seeing the tail end of it in the mid to late 1980s, and Verne Gagne and his son Greg, Greg is a skinny weakling looking guy, and you're gonna expect this old bald guy to be a champion when there's Hulk Hogan out there. You know what I mean? It's just so it was already past its thing. So as a kid who might have been 7 or 8 in 1985, to see that, I was like, who's this old guy? I didn't know anything about him. He couldn't beat anybody up. He's bald.
Yeah. Oh, I used to think that about Jerry Blackwell. Remember?
But yeah, at least Jerry Blackwell is this huge fat dude, and okay, I don't want to. That guy just jumps on me, I'll be dead.
Yes, that's all I was thinking as a child.
So I mean, they had a lot of great characters, but that's the one thing about Verne Gagne.
Did he do the storylines? Do you think? I mean, I guess.
Yeah, he would run the storylines, and the thing about him is he would do training. He would train all these guys, and then he was, obviously the main champion of everything. But yeah, I mean, it was his promotion. He owned that territory. Just like Vince McMahon owned the Northeast territory, or the Von Erich's father owned the Dallas, Texas one, or the Grahams would own the Florida one. Verne Gagne owned that Minnesota one, which is AWA. Yeah, but it was just by 1985, even though in the 70s, Verne Gagne was ahead of his time in doing his own movies and trying to syndicate things and all that kind of stuff. By the mid 1980s, he was already an old man and getting passed up. Yeah.
Did he have kids that went into it?
Yeah, his son Greg Gagne was a skinny little kid that went into it, and he wanted to make him a champion. Everybody's like, this guy is doesn't even look intense. You put the Ultimate Warrior next to him, he looks like a like a weakling. You know what I mean? So not a bad wrestler, but it's just not believable compared to that kind of steroid bodybuilder era.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's so funny because I used to watch wrestling religiously into adulthood, I'll even say. And I still enjoy so I if it's on a TV and I'm walking by, I'm watching it. Otherwise I really don't watch TV anymore.
sure.
I found that I was yelling and screaming at it way too much that it lowered.
I love, I mean, Jim and I both love wrestling, especially from the 80s. Peacock has all the old AWA, WCCW, all those old promotions on there. And I think that could be a lot learned from entertainment. It's a little bit carny in some ways, but a lot of the stuff that we do on Jim's show is kind of from that school of the pro wrestling kind of, hey, if you're going to come in, you're only going to come in. Hey, we'll give you a little snippet, but then you're going to have to get the VIP plus pay-per-view to come and see it. I mean, that's a little bit pro wrestling. You know what I mean?
You know what? I think it's genius. I think you guys are actually doing a really good job with the business that you guys are, doing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the right thing to do. It's the way that, I mean, he's a capitalist, which is good. He is a entrepreneur for sure. The man's got a lot of things, and so do you. It seems that you guys really.
Yeah, you actually guys don't even know how many things that I got going on because I only come from the Mr. X side of it. You don't know the other guy, so I mean, you might know who it is, but you don't know what's going on.
Right. I couldn't
Jim
even.
Terry thing is just one part of what I do for him.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, you're up at whatever time it is where you're at.
2 a.m.
Yeah, it's 2 a.m. there. It's 4 here. I don't work for another couple. Actually, I just found out I don't have to work till 6:30, which is kind of nice.
Good, nice.
Yeah, I am like, yes. They've been putting me on a bunch of different shifts. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, like you're up early, and I think I don't know, when you go to bed, but you seem like, you keep yourself busy in your business, which is great. That makes you successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You and Jim, you guys, I love, I absolutely loved the fucking lunch thing the other day. What he was taking is just freaking, it was just hilarious. I'm like, oh my God, is he taking cues from anybody? Because he's just sucking his teeth, just, it was just the funniest fucking thing I think I've seen in a long time. So
Maybe since like 1982.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. Is that what it was from?
Once again, kind of a bit. I don't know if I want it. How many people are watching this?
One on, I don't know how many are on Twitch. So there's just one on YouTube because I don't have a lot of followers. It's just,
Oh, so you do the Twitch thing too. I don't even follow Twitch. I don't even know how that works.
Yeah, people usually catch me on replay because a lot of time, I'm just painting or something like that.
Yeah, you just see, and then whatever, people watch it later, and that's fine, But no, that's actually an Andy Kaufman bit that he did in the early 1980s. Andy Kaufman said he got thrown out of an audition for Saturday Night Live, and he said, "Oh, I'm going to do you can find it on YouTube because I'm going to do the what I did for the audition now here on stage." And he gets up on stage, pulls up a table, and a girl comes and who's a waitress, a legitimate waitress at the Comedy Store or whatever he was at, the Improv. And she takes his order. He orders some ice cream and just sits there on stage, starts eating some ice cream all real loud. Gets up, bows, leaves. It's so like I'm just thinking about from an acting standpoint. Do you know the balls you would have to say that I'm going to eat in front of you? I'm so funny that I'm going to sit here and say nothing and eat in front of you, and you're going to laugh. To do that on your one chance to go to Saturday Night Live, you got to have huge, or just not give a shit.
That's hilarious. Oh
so
yeah,
that's kind of what that's from, if I'm not mistaken.
It was freaking great because it was art. It was total fucking art. But I'm into shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not a completely original idea, but Jim did his kind of own spin on it.
He did great.
But yeah, and we both of him and I both love Andy Kaufman too because the stuff that guy was doing, I've never seen anything like that before.
That guy is the guy from Taxi? Is that is?
Yes, but he was a stand-up, and he would just do. And speaking of wrestling, he wrestled in Memphis, but he would do the thing where he'd wrestle the women, and then he would legitimately beat the women. Then eventually he got beat up by Jerry Lawler. But he did a lot of these bits that are crazy. Like he went on Letterman one night and said that he was, they're like, hey, they always say to actors, like, what are you up to? Are you doing anything? Well, I'm working on this movie. I got this project. I can't talk about that. And he's like, no, I'm not really doing well. And he had snot running down his nose and he looked horrible. And he just like, yeah, nobody really wants me. So I'm just hanging out. So he starts doing this stand-up bit. He goes and, takes a mic and he just talks about how his wife got rid of him. And then he starts going to the crowd and asking him for money, and people start throwing change at him. I mean, I'm just like, nobody would have the balls to do something like that. I mean, and it's not really a punchline or anything, but it's more or less like kind of like a performance art.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly it. And it's funny because it speaks volumes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're doing stuff like that. There was this one video, and I'll try to find it. One of the girls here in Minnesota had done it. It was part of the Traveling Patriots, and it was really, really cool. I happened to see the video, and it was people were dressed in these white, like, we'll call them the Rona suits. Okay. And then they have these white masks on and they had these signs up and they were walking in a line and just taking, just marching. And it said, it just had stuff. It was about like the COVID stuff.
Sure.
About comply and ask no questions. I mean, that's all that would be on these signs. And you just go. Just go with the flow. It was really, really impactful. The way that
sounds like that movie They Live I'm always talking about.
Oh, I don't know what that is. I haven't heard of that.
A movie from '89. Speaking of that same year, that's that Roddy Piper movie, Back to Wrestling Again. He's from Oregon territory, but it's Roddy Piper in that movie, that '89 They Live movie. It's kind of akin to what you were saying. It's about Reaganomics, but it still kind of fits with the stuff today. Mm-hmm. He's this bum in Los Angeles, a homeless guy. An interesting. I've never seen a movie. I've seen a movie about homeless. I guess bum is the wrong word, but the working poor, like the working homeless. I've never seen a movie about that. So he's working at a construction site, but he sleeps at a shanty town. And he's like looking at everything. He's like, why are things just screwed up here? Why isn't this working? I'm playing by the rules and all that. Well, he stumbles onto sunglasses. And as he stumbles onto these sunglasses one night after there's this raid on this church, he realizes these sunglasses, he puts them on and he sees that there are aliens everywhere. So the rich and the powerful are aliens, and he starts looking at signs and it says like eat, consume, like what you were talking about. Shows money, it says this is your god. And he realizes that these aliens are like infiltrated into society. He looks at the TV, and the TV is politicians and they're an alien. And he's like, oh, I knew it. You know what I mean?
What's really going on?
This is this is going on. And then he sees like regular human beings be like, man, I didn't get the promotion. And he's looking at him through the sunglasses, and they're like, then the alien's like, well, go for it. You'll get it like I did. And he like, and I was like, oh my God. So you have a science fiction movie that's got a pro wrestler that's written by a master, John Carpenter, did Halloween and obviously The Thing and Escape from New York, Escape from LA, yada, yada.
I've seen part of this movie because I recall.
Oh, it's been on TV hundreds of times.
And that's probably why.
And then, I chew bubble gum and kick ass and all that kind of stuff. Then he goes on there and then he starts like going on like a killing spree. He starts killing the aliens, and people are like, why are you killing people? And he's like, they're not people. And like, so some of this stuff's like, wow, this really kind of touches home with like the shit that's going on now.
Yeah. No shit. I swear to God.
So,
we're surrounded by AI. I swear to God, sometimes. I'm not even kidding.
That AI stuff's weird. You start talking about it, next thing you know, in your feed, you're going to have an advertisement for They Live, the next Blu-ray. But did you see the AI paintings on me?
No. Did I? No.
So I put them up on Jim Terry TV too, and I know a girl, and she says to me, you can go to this AI program. And she showed me some pictures of a show that she works on. And she said, if you explain to this AI program, you write it out and you put a picture in, it'll give you its interpretation of what's, like an artist.
Oh,
I mean,
yes,
obviously
did
it's not a
see
real
that.
person.
Yeah.
And so I put, black hat, brown leather strap, violet, black sunglasses, mask, black turtleneck, leather jacket, collar, like a Dracula collar. And I explained what Mr. X is. And then I sent a picture in of it. And it sent me something back that looked like steampunk.
Yeah.
It was
I seen it. It
real
was
weird.
cool. It was badass.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool.
So, I mean, I couldn't believe that it was. Maybe I can make it my avatar just so you could see it. But
I loved it. The hat was pretty wide brimmed, but you know what?
oh, so you've seen it? Okay.
Yeah, I did see it, and I was like, oh fuck, I want to paint that. That's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
but that's like it. But it looked steampunk, and then we're like, okay, well, let's put it near the Hollywood sign because I'm having the Hollywood backdrop coming next. Like it's gonna be my next backdrop, and I was like, okay, let's put it to downtown LA, and then it made it like we didn't say anything. Like I was having this lady help me, but it's like it made it look like the Hollywood sign was melting. And I was like, well, I didn't say anything about it looking post-apocalyptic or anything, so it just came up with whatever. And then one was sunny, and it looked like, I know you ever seen the old Paramount or maybe it's the Universal like logo that goes around the globe. Like the Hollywood sign looked like a globe like that, like circular instead of a cross. So I was just like, wow, I mean, it's just weird that this computer analyzes that, I guess like a person's brain. Like you analyze that logo, virtually what that looks like. I mean, that's pretty damn close.
That's yeah, it is pretty neat what they can do nowadays. I mean, it's just
No, I'm talking about your painting, like my avatar, you're painting, like except for the thing, which is a brown strap, and unless you were in, like it's a violet background, which you got that right. But that strap could look violet in that lighting. You know what I mean? But
the strap on your hat, what?
The strap on the hat's actually brown. It's dark brown.
Shit.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll be.
But you can't tell that because I backlight it violet and then I front light it violet. So I bounce the light off the wall, so it's going to make that brown kind of pinkish.
Right. So I I'm looking at it, and this is if you see it close up, you can actually see there's purple inside this. It's like because I wanted that lighting. And I was going to shade the whole thing. And I thought, no, I'm going to want to fuck this up. I'm just leave this like this because I like it how it is. Because it's more almost cartoony-ish. It's cute.
Yeah, Miss T did obviously I took the picture and drew the artwork on the toe. But Miss T kind of made that outline of that as a, like what is it? I'm trying to think the name of it. An emoji. Like she put it into an emoji. Like you have the one in the top right corner.
Yeah.
Like she made the logo for it, and then that's where that came from. And then you took it another step. Yeah. So it's like an evolution of like one thing to another to another. Actually, I like what you did with it the most. Like I like the black on black like that.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I gotta do. It was. I was getting. It wouldn't leave, and when I have visions like that, where like shit don't leave, and I just can't stop thinking about it, I have to put it down. I have to do something.
You know what I think about this now, and I mean, I wanted the neutral mask character for Mr. X, but now that I think about this is what I'm realizing after about 3+ months. I think a lot of women out there that like Jim think Jim's good looking, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that's just. I'm not saying you have to agree with it. This is just my perception of this. Now I understand why this worked. Now, if you saw what I looked like, you'd be like, oh, well, he's not as good looking as Jim, or he's this, or he's that, or you just, so by just being a vision of a blacked out figure, it's almost like, you ever heard of any Tiny Tim song and it sticks in your head just because of the way that guy sings? Like now you can't kind of get that out of your head. It's like, so that was the idea behind it. I was like, I've always had Mr. X as a character, but I never dressed up as it. And I was like, well, this is what this would look like. You'd just be a blacked out neutral character. So I had virtually everything to do it. And Jim is let's say Jim's the good looking guy. He's the host, but I'm the guy who's like the second in command on purpose. But I didn't think it would register as much as it did. Like somebody told me it gave him nightmares.
Really? Oh,
yeah,
no.
Like they just see me talking in that over and over again.
What are you talking about? Mm-mm.
Well, in like this, like I got nightmares when I first started doing this stuff with Jim about Dylan Rounds. Like I put
Really?
myself in the situation. I wondered where he was at. I thought about all the weirdos out there and this and that. But now you got a guy talking to you in a fucking full-on black outfit who looks like spy versus spy. And then you got Jim, who's his own crazy too. You know what I mean?
He's his own,
And then
yeah.
I think that you know, for a lot of these women who are in true crime, you're not into true crime, but like they kind of put themselves in the situation of the victim, or they want to figure it out. And you got a guy who's like a real life avatar talking to you. You know what I mean? I think that can stick into your head like a Tiny Tim song. That's what I'm talking about.
Well,
And I wonder if that has something to do with the quote unquote visions that you had. You know what I mean?
No, the visions that I get are from the Lord.
Oh,
I
from the
get
Lord.
things from the Spirit. I like the Spirit of the Lord just kind of like I'm like one of those people who like how do I want to say this? So I only paint. I told you this before that I only paint what I feel prompted to by the Spirit of God. And I am not a perfect person. I don't claim to be. I am probably one of the biggest bitches you'll probably ever meet. I speak the way that you see me now, or the way that I talk this is how I talk in real life. This is not
Good.
this is not a facade. It's not a persona. This is me. And
That's how Jim and I are too. I mean,
Yeah,
Jim's
and I don't-
actually really like that. That's why I think I get along with you.
yeah, and I don't don't lie or don't like to lie. I mean, I've lied. I mean, let's just I had a
Well,
chocolate.
if you don't
cake.
lie, you
No,
never
I
have to
didn't.
worry about getting caught.
But I don't, I try to keep myself honest. That way I don't have to remember any lies or anything like that. And
Okay.
People don't like that. They don't like the truth. And that rubs them the wrong way. And they come off a bitch, Yep. Yeah, whatever.
That happens to me too. I'm exactly the same way. Exactly. Not
Yeah.
Mr. X, but like me in real life. That happens. Same thing to me.
Yeah. I feel I suffer with you. Okay.
Yes.
I suffer with you. I have seen your pictures. I do know what you look like.
No, we're not talking about that. You
You're
don't know what I
so
look like.
handsome too. So I don't know. Well, I'm careful about how I say things. Yeah, no. Yeah, you're a doll. So I
Okay,
don't
well,
think you have to
I got
worry
all my
about
hair.
I don't think you have to worry about any of that,
Well, I mean, but just it's better to do it this way because I think that the creative envelope's a little bit more wide open as the Mr. X thing, and I kind of prefer it that way anyway.
I like it. It works for you because now all the ladies, they're out there. You notice when you had, they're all at the beach and they're all waiting for you. Shit, I was there. I wanted to see that scene. I really did. I have a few poses that I really want to do. Just so you know. I'm gonna work on
Next time I'll go. I was thinking about going out there and doing some more, poses and this and that. But yeah, there are. I do talk to actually a lot of different women that, they a lot of them want the worm line. They want the Mr. X phone number, and I was like, really, that's really for Miss T, so I could do the show. And I do respond to a lot of people via email. I mean, I talk to you on email too, even on Jim's email. But and some of them it's just like. A lot of them are very nice. Some of them are just lonely and looking to talk. But I don't want to exclude anybody. I humanly can't keep up with everybody.
Oh no, I'm sure you can't. I'm sure you can't. And that's why I'm
And
like, we're always working.
Right. And Jim like I do all those comments on Jim's thing. Jim doesn't look at any of that shit. He doesn't like when you guys like, hey Jim, I like what you did today. He doesn't see any of that. I'm the only one who sees that.
Oh, that's funny.
So
I know what you mean.
He might go scroll through it later to see, how did I do and what are people saying? But like, is he going to respond to everybody? No, but it's just like a lot of them are 75% women. They're probably above 45 to 65. I've seen a lot of people that are single mothers or whatever it might be. And, I think that it's kind of like their way to interact with people. And it's not a bad thing. It's just the way that it is, but that's the majority of it. And then there's some of those like locker room guys, like, Tennessee Gambler, man, who like football and stuff. So Jim's able to connect with a lot of them, but you would not think that kind of a Howard Stern type attitude like Jim's even like that in real life, would have 75% women. But I think that that's what revolves around true crime.
Is it really?
Yes. Yes, women are into true crime and psychology and sociology and all that stuff. Yeah, and now they can interact with a guy they might think is good looking who was really involved in it and is an over the top personality anyway. That's why I think it works.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I you know, on Outlaw's show, he would drive me nuts with the fucking Dylan Rounds thing, and finally lost my shit one day. Well, probably did it a few times. I lost my shit. I'm like, will we stop fucking talking about this shit right now? I mean, fucking 7 hours. Jim was talking about it for 4. Now do you need to talk about it for 4 more? What the fuck? It's a full-time job. That's why I said I lost.
And there's really nothing. There's nothing new to talk about. I mean, the real thing that's interesting about the Dylan Rounds thing, and I can tell you this is, and I'm not involved in it. That's Jim's case. I've never been to that area of Nevada, or I've never been to Utah. Is there's just a really lot of interesting characters that you can talk to and interact, and you can put yourself. So like the girl that went missing, and I just, I don't know a whole lot about it, but there was a black girl that went missing in Mexico, and there's videos of her getting beat up and then taken and all this. And okay, that's one thing. But there's this other one where, is this kid maybe gay? He's on a farm, but he's 19, but he disappeared, but this area's got all, it's like a fucking X-Files episode perfectly written and cast with all the characters all around it. Like you couldn't write it any better than what it is. So as these women dig into it more, and then they have Jim, who's not involved in necessarily that group, it just explodes it even more. Where somebody like the Kylie Rodney situation, and Jim didn't do much of that. 16-year-old girl, white girl, she went missing. She drove into the lake. The end. She was out there partying in the woods with a bunch of dudes. Well, this one is like, okay, this guy just disappeared. Now there's 3 guys in jail, but they're in for so now you can like nobody's ever talked to them. Some people say they have. It's just like it could surround itself in a lot of drama. The LDS church. I mean, it just goes on, and like there's so many layers to it. I think that's why it worked.
I did find that part intriguing after I started to learn a little bit more. I was like, well, what the fuck? I couldn't believe how many people were involved even online.
Right.
Like,
and what Jim did was, and what he was doing, at least this is my interpretation of this, Jim would go on different true crime channels to be able to get press for the case, try to help the kid. Obviously he's promoting himself too. And they were basically, I mean, let's just call it what it is. But like a lot of those shows, like Doug's show and some of these true crime shows, none of them are private investigators. None of them they're just using true crime as an interesting topic, as a lightning rod to earn money. They know it's a cash register. So they get Jim on there who's free content, but then over the top content. They're getting that extra where he's going to call somebody a whore to their face, fight with people. He's like all 3 in 1. True crime, over the top personality, and drama in one. So it's like now people are going to turn on each other like pro wrestling and this and that. And it's not like Jim's sitting back and being like, oh, what can I do? How can I screw with this person? It just happens organically because some of these people that do these channels are weirdos. So once Jim did his own channel, that's when it exploded it for people fighting him because they felt like he was taking their money. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean because I understand what you're saying. And but the longer he goes and the more variety that he does, and I think you kind of picked up on it too, the more people are like, the more solid or loyal people are going to be because they know all the beginnings.
Yeah, because he always says he's not true crime. So it's like, okay, I mean, it's getting back to the point of Dylan Rounds. So like, okay, the best thing that could happen in this Dylan Rounds case, in my opinion, I wish this would happen, is they find him somewhere in San Francisco hanging out with his boyfriend. I hope he's been watching the entire time. But the moment they find him, like they did with the Kylie Rodney thing, if they found him dead, it's over. But it's not over because nobody's found anything. Now the ground's frozen. It continues on. Now, the mom's about to have a show. There's another character. You know what I mean? She's about to have a show on Paramount Plus. Yeah.
Well, who had a show, who had his son.
2 episodes, not a show. She's going to be on a show. Let me rephrase that.
I was going to say, did Adam Walsh, remember him?
Yeah, Adam Walsh, Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, or America's Most Wanted.
America's Most Wanted. Yeah,
Yeah. And his son went missing.
Adam.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. His son went missing. I don't know what his son's name was, but and that's how he got involved in all of that stuff. And so I think, kind of makes you think about that. Like,
Well, Jim said from the very beginning, her whole goal was to wash everybody out, the mother, try to take control of it, to be able to, he was saying this, and people were like, you're a bastard for saying this. Why can you say this to a mother who's grieving? To be able to control the narrative so she can gets herself a little TV deal. And so she got a 2-part little mini series and part of a show that's, one part is about the missing kid and the next part is about the cops on Paramount Plus. And I don't think it pays very much, if anything, but she can kind of now become an advocate for that. But it's not as big as that Adam Walsh thing. I mean, he became a whole celebrity over it. She doesn't have the charisma or the ability to carry it.
No.
He had the voice, he had the charisma. His story was much bigger. It's a different time frame. Now, if she was, I mean, it's going to sound horrible to say, but let's just say she's like 30 and the kid's like 15 and she's still fairly young, that might be different. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But it's just like, she's not, let me put it this way. She's a lady who works at a Costco, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. And she's not, it's hard enough to work in this entertainment industry. She doesn't have that around her. She has the LDS church around her. So the showmanship of being an entertainer, that has not been around her in her life. So could she carry it like Adam Walsh? No. I mean, I could do a 3.5-hour show by myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Probably you could too. I know Jim can.
You're very entertaining. So
yeah. So and I think, but like, what is she going to talk about in life that she's been to or interact with people? So I mean, I just don't think she has that ability. The only thing she has is this story of her son missing, and then after that story's told, what's next? Right. See, that's the thing that we always talk about with Jim. What's next? What can we do that's entertaining that people will like?
Right.
It's away from drama and true crime. Somebody wants to get a tattoo? Are you kidding me? Let's do it.
That's funny. Did she send that like did she say that on the show too? I'm going to get a tattoo, Jim.
I think, I don't remember exactly how it started, but I know she's got that tattoo on her neck.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jim may have brought it up. Like, Jim said a lot of things over the years. And like, sometimes I'm just going to say it because being truthful is better than, like, for example, Diva Puss, who we no longer have on the show. Her son, and I'm not trying to talk bad about kids, was probably going to be diagnosed as a dwarf. So Jim's, she was going to get some paperwork sent, and Jim said straight up, hey, why don't you reveal that, like have a dwarf reveal party? I know that sounds horrible because the kid's a great kid and we had him on the show and we liked having him, but he said that as like a ridiculous thing. She's like, yeah, I'll do it. And I think that that's the same way that this tattoo thing came up. Hey, you got a tattoo on your neck of scissors. Why don't you get a tattoo of Mr. X? I'd do it. Really? Would you eat a stick of butter? Yeah, I've been hearing about this. I'll do it. So, I mean, I think that's how that kind of happens, where it's thrown out as an idea and somebody takes Jim up.
Oh, that's so funny. I just happened to catch his replay and then he held up that fucking horrible. I was like, oh my God.
What was it?
That sketch that I sent of him, it was like for his birthday or something. I just did it really quick, and I had actually did more on it. It's still god awful because I'm like, I don't know how to paint noses and lips and stuff. I just don't. And
yeah, that's fine. But I mean, look at it like this: you doing the paintings, whatever they are, they could be a vision. There's a lady who did a song. There's a guy named Dee Icer who did a poem. This lady's going to get a tattoo. Nobody's doing that shit with Salty Pancakes. Nobody's doing anything. Like, nobody cares enough about him. So, I mean, obviously Jim's made some kind of an impact where people, Outlaw TV was going to do his Rainbow in the Dark, but then that thing fell through with Michelle and all that kind of stuff. Well, a guy contacts him, wants to do a website for him. So it's kind of evolved in that way. And that just shows that, people like what he's doing and they want to be involved. And the fact that they want to be involved is more important than if their nose is right in the painting. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. Their participation is more important regardless if it's a song or a poem or whatever it is. I'm not going to judge if it's good or not. I just know that it's cool that they're doing it.
Yeah, it's because I think he's got a name known for being really interactive, which is good. People like that. They love the interaction. So like we were going to talk about this. All right, you want this painting?
Yeah, I do. I saw how well you packed that other painting, by the way, too. I mean, I like the other painting, but I didn't. Like, if I was gonna, I didn't realize that there was going to be more. But like this painting is the logo. I kind of do want this painting, but I mean,
I will send it to you.
Now, what do you want me to do with the other one?
Well, I mean,
I know
it.
I could do that. And then where do you want it? Do you want me to send it somewhere?
Yeah, send it. You can send it back to me. If you
That
want.
packaging you sent me, I tossed it though.
No, then don't. Just hold on to it for now.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because I know Jim talked about, Jim doesn't like to do things for other people, like not other people, but like, let me word it this way. Like he would do an auction or he could put it up, but like, where would that go and how would that work? Like, what if somebody only wanted it for $20? It's not even worth sending. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I'd be like, yeah.
It's not even worth it. I'm not going to send it to you. And then, or you put like, there was some guy who said, I think it was that lady who was the MMA lady. She's like, yeah, my boyfriend will come on and sign autographs. Like his name's Tim Story. He's like, Jim's like, nobody wants that. So they might want it because it's Mr. X, but what if they don't? And they're like, oh, nobody even bid on this. Maybe the best thing to do would be, because I know that you got some expenses, just obviously as far as the paint and the canvas, because I get a lot of, I could reimburse you for that.
No, it's not necessary. I mean, you can just send it back to me because I'll put it on my wall.
You want the original one?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I want to keep this one that I like, the one that you have here. I want to keep that one. I want to put it on my wall.
Yeah, this one's a fun one. I really like this. You'll like
it. And it's not that I don't like the other one either. Don't get me wrong.
No,
it's just this one is the one that I kind of like. If I never did this show again, this would be the kind of image that would encapsulate. It's like the movie poster for the show, at least in my mind. I mean, it's Jim's show, but it's a picture of me. It's one of the highest rated shows. It's one of the highest earning shows. Is the Toe Show? It's the most ridiculous show. Jim's not even on the show.
The Toe Show. I missed the Toe Show.
So you don't know what that's about?
No, but I thought it was hilarious with the toe, and so every time you pull the toe out, it cracks me up.
Here's what happened. Jim got off, and he was going to finish up doing his show, and there was a couple people that super chatted, and it was Miss T and I backstage, like after the show's over, and I'm like, oh shit, some super chats come on, and I go, well, it looks like people still want to chat. So it's like, why don't we go back up? And I think Divapus was there too. I know she was there. I was like, why don't we go back out without Jim, and then we can read these super chats. Next thing you know, it turns into like a 4-hour show. And at the end, just like anytime you get around people at school or on a movie or whatever, I mean, this happens on movie sets all the time. People kind of start getting the giggles, just by, it starts, that contagious laughter that starts working its way around the room. And what happens with her, Miss T, is she's got this infectious laugh by snorting and laugh. Like she just has that's actually a skill in Los Angeles. You can get cast just by because her infectious laugh got other people to laugh, which was totally organic. So people started saying in this show, which was the last hour and a half of this 4-hour show, we started talking like one guy, I think it was Chop TV, says, oh, you probably play PlayStation all day and don't work. And I said, well, I can beat your ass in Mario Kart. And I was showing him how I can play Mario Kart with my feet. And then people started asking me to do different things with my feet. So I signed my name with my feet. And then I had a smiley face on the bottom of my feet. And it kind of became an ongoing joke for like 90 minutes. But that shot right there is like the shot that I took from it.
That's hilarious. I wasn't sure.
People kept sending in money because they wanted it. Like, it's just like, so you can plan all you want, but people kept sending in money because they wanted to see me do more with my feet, like an OnlyFans, like a porn thing or something.
Freaks.
Yeah, like these freaks, right? And one of the guys, Toe Jam, is a guy. So it's like, do this, do that, and then women are laughing, and they're laughing at me, and I'll be the clown if they want, not a big deal. But I started doing all these different tricks with my feet because my feet are like hands.
You got finger toes?
Kind of like I can grip things. I can, pinch somebody. I could. I mean, I was joking because I said my feet are like that movie My Left Toe. So, anyways, that, and then the next night I try to do a little bit more about the toe, and like that laughter, that was running around that room that night was gone. Like you hear stand-up comics are like, "Hey, this room this night was great." Then this same room the next night it was dead. Like it just worked that one night, and that's what that's from.
That's funny. I did not know that, but I'll have to.
And it's crazy. Out of all the highest monetized show, let's be honest, is Jim's birthday. It's his birthday. People send him money, but the next ones that are up there, is when he got like a very special interview, but it's actually the Toe Show, which has nothing to do with anything. It's very random.
It's what do they call that? Improv at that.
Yeah, improv. Yeah.
And it's, you know what? That can be some of the funniest stuff because, yeah, it can be.
You ever seen that show, Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yes.
I was just watching that, and they had one I just saw tonight with Robin Williams in it. He was with the normal guys, but Robin Williams was one of the guys, and they were doing a thing where they were all supposed to be cooks, and Wayne Brady was going to be an exterminator that was going to exterminate rats. But there was a guy on the side that was also a director, like they're doing a scene. So Robin Williams, they're all doing these Italian accents, like real bad Italian chef accents. And then the guy yells cut, who's a fake director, comes in, and Robin Williams goes straight into a gay character. And I was like, man, he was just all like, he was one thing to another. And that's a skill to have, but sometimes the laughing is an organic thing too. Mm-hmm. The improv is one thing, but this is more like an organic thing that just happened that night.
Yep.
So it was kind of something different, but it's the only way that I can kind of equate it. That guy was tremendous, but anyway.
That's funny. That's good. One of my friends, actually, Paulie, he's got a channel. He has a YouTube channel, but he doesn't really use YouTube anymore after the whole sleeper cell thing. But he's on Twitch and like all this other stuff, and he was a big fan of like the Howard Stern stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he grew up listening to that, and so he's very, very good at the podcasting stuff. He's really funny. He's really cool and funny at doing improv, and he's just a comical guy. He came on one time on one of my streams, and he's created a few different little characters of his own, and he just cracks up the entire freaking room.
There you go.
It's in Twitch, that he is, but it's pretty funny. So I know, some people are just made to do this kind of stuff,
Yeah, Jim is definitely one of those people that are made to do it. The only issue Jim has, and I've said this on the show, so I'm not saying anything out of turn about him, is he's not really an organized producer. If Jim was an organized, he's not. He always says he's not a paper guy. Like he could probably walk into a room, and with almost no experience, and pitch a movie better than I could. But could he pull it off like I could? No. So he's got one skill, I got another. Now I think I could do these stuff entertaining. If he's a 10 out of 10, and then I would say I'm an 8.5. But the problem is being a 10 out of 10 with no structure means you're a 0. That's how I look at it. So it's like if I wouldn't have constructed that site for him, and this is not shit talking, I'm not talking down to him. Like he needed a little bit of that guidance, but he already had the hardest thing, which was getting people to like him, people to monetize. He got monetized in one day. So when people give him Jim got monetized in one day, less than a day.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, and then Mr. X TV, which is Jim Terry TV 2, is at like 650 after a month.
That's awesome.
So it's like Jim got monetized, but he also put the work in. But he could be the kind of guy that has no show tomorrow. But ironically, he's never had a strike yet either.
No. Yeah.
So,
I can't get the whole music thing together on my thing. I got to figure that out.
What like Outlaw was doing?
Yeah, well, he's got music, but I like listening to like praise and worship stuff when I paint, and I have like these songs that I like to listen to, and they keep putting copyright claims on my thing. I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. This would be my suggestion. Are you familiar with the website Storyblocks, Audio Blocks?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a royalty-free site. I think I mean, it's going to be kind of pricey, but a lot of people use it in movies, especially like some of those stingers that they use in horror movies that scare people. They have that kind of stuff and some good music. But I would see what kind of worship and praise stuff they have on there. You can listen to it for free. It might not be a known artist, but it would be something. And then if you had the membership, I don't know what the membership is, $50-$60 a month. You could buy it a year. Now you have 100% access to it. They can't strike you.
I'll check it out. You said Audio Blocks, you said?
Audio Blocks, yeah.
Yeah, somebody else told me, or Paul, you actually said that you need to do covers or something like that. So, because apparently if you're doing covers, like people who are covering or playing the song, but they're doing it their style or whatever, and usually those are not copyrighted and you can play those. And I'm like, oh, okay, well.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, I don't know how YouTube works with that specifically, but when you're licensing music for a movie, I can tell you this because this is one of the hardest things I had to learn. There's two parts of it. There's let's say, for example, Axl Rose and Guns N' Roses. I want to get Welcome to the Jungle, for example. Okay, so there's two parts. Geffen Records.
Okay, go on.
Okay, Geffen Records, the publisher. So they're going to be the hardest to deal with. And then you have the writer performer of the music, which would be Guns N' Roses. I don't know who exactly wrote that song. So it's two parts. So let's just say the writer performer of the music, let's just say is Axl Rose. Well, to get that exact performance from that album, now you have to include, guess who? Geffen Records. This is the reason why Prince went to that symbol sign and re-recorded everything, because he can eliminate that publisher. He could still, it's his song, but if he eliminates the person, the original recording, he could say no on the artist side, but only on the publisher side, you have to get his newer version of the older song. You know, that makes sense?
Oh, really?
So if you were to play a Guns N' Roses song, somebody still wrote that, but you're not playing the version from the publisher because obviously you're not playing that individual recording. So I don't know about that within YouTube. My suggestion would be get royalty free or a song that's in the public domain. And I think a lot of those Christian songs that are in the public domain, like here's another example, Mozart. Okay. Are you taking notes now?
Yeah.
Mozart is in the public domain. But if, the Los Angeles Philharmonic did something, Requiem Mass, that performance is owned by them. But since Mozart is way dead and been in a public domain for hundreds of years, you can redo that Requiem Mass on your own. But if you took their recording of it, then you got the copyright issue. So the easiest way to get around that, I talked about this before with, I think it was Tiny Tim, Tiptoe Through the Tulips is a public domain song, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. But when he did it, and he performed it the way he did, that makes it completely different. So he performed a song or songs that might have been easier to license or are in the public domain, but he does it in a style that's extremely unique. That's different than if you're like a Bruce Springsteen, where you write it, and then you had a publisher pay you to produce it because you didn't have the money to do it at the time. Well, a lot of these guys became their own publishers after a while. They didn't need the record company. That's exactly what happened to Prince. Prince just redid everything. What a smart move.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, he was a fucking
eliminated.
Love Prince. My fave.
And he's another Minnesota guy. But you ever meet him?
No, I did not. Never met him, but normally I work like right where you did a lot of the film Purple Rain and stuff like that. So it's kind of neat, but yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like in an example of films and all that, and I see this is why, you see a lot of the haters on the internet get upset at Jim Terry TV because we strike all the intellectual property. Well, I know all the copyright law and fair use laws and stuff because I've done it for my films.
Yeah. Well, Yeah.
So I know
Got anything
all
to
about it.
freaking talk to, man.
Yeah, books, films, music licensing, actor releases, unions and stuff like that. So when they're talking about this, see, they think that if they play a minute or two of Jim's content, they can use that within fair use. They're actually wrong. And I said that was one of the first thing I said on Jim's show. I've struck down with Jim hundreds of those places, and I've done it with an attorney behind us. They don't know what they're talking about. They're actually wrong. There was one that happened recently. Jim's got a hate Reddit where they took a TikTok video of Jim's video and then they posted the link over on a hate Reddit, and they're like, "Well, can't strike us now." Nope, that's not true because it's still copyright. That's you're like, you don't get the around the copyright. So that's what you're running into. And YouTube, I think, has an algorithm for that music. Like they know if you're going to put in an AC/DC song, they're going to tag that real quick.
Right. Absolutely. I see what you're saying. Because I'm like, how the fuck? Because I'll just have background music in and I have it really fucking low that it like choppy. Like I don't even think people can really hear it like I can. And just like, oh.
It just hits you right away. So that's why you got to find that. And that's why a lot of movies, they go and hire a composer to compose different music, or they have things which are called sound-alikes, where you get a song that's kind of famous and you kind of make it in a different key, and it just sounds like here's a perfect example: the Rolling Stones song "Gimme Shelter." Okay, so that's always in all those movies with Scorsese. "Gimme Shelter," the Rolling Stone film or the Rolling Stone song. Okay,
I don't
anyway.
know this. I'd have to hear it. I'm sorry.
You would know it if you heard it. It's been in tons of movies. But if you made something that sounded kind of like that and you change it a little bit, obviously you couldn't use the same lyrics and all that, but you could use kind of the same theme of it, you probably can get away with that. It's called a sound-alike. Like they have sound-alikes for, what's that, Rage Against the Machine, where you would like, man, is this Rage Against the Machine, a song I've never heard? No. It's just a band kind of imitating it so you get that feel.
Oh. Yeah, so like a cover.
Well, a cover is, let's say if I took Guns N' Roses' "Appetite for Destruction," that album, "Welcome to the Jungle," and I redid that song, that's a cover. But if I did a sound-alike, is if I made something that sounded similar, but it's kind of a different song.
Oh, okay.
It sounds like a cheap version of it. So these are all different things that you could do. But like, I mean, if you're a musician, you could do that. You can get something that's close. It's just a couple keys off. But once you start having Lady Gaga sing on it, I don't care. I mean, that's going to get struck. So, but there are definitely musicians out there that all they do, and there's artists who do this too, by the way, within films, like people who paint, where it's called cleared artwork, just like royalty-free music. So you make a giant painting, and in that painting, it looks like, say, for example, something like Salvador Dali. I'm like, man, I could swear that's a Salvador Dali, but you painted it, and you gave the license for any movie to use it, but it's different. That's cleared artwork. Otherwise, I mean, I couldn't put Salvador Dali in the back of a movie, So that's kind of stuff exists. See, that's what these jadrules that are in their fucking pajamas and e-cigarettes and somewhere in Galesburg, Illinois, don't understand. I'm in Los Angeles. I think I know something about it. I mean,
yeah. I have no desire to ever go to California. Holy shit!
And that's why I asked you, even though that picture is a picture of me, but it's on Jim's show, and Miss T made the emoji, but then you painted it. So technically, I mean, if we wanted to really argue it, it's actually Jim's image. But it went through these, because it started from Jim's show. But then Miss T added to it, and then you painted it. And all along the way, I'm like, can I use it? Can I use it? Can I use it? And like I asked everybody. Now, if I just took it from you and ripped it, and and then somebody all of a sudden has a tattoo of it, you'd be like, what the fuck? I painted this. So then Jim be like, well, it started on my show. There's that chain of title right there.
If anything I paint can bless somebody, freaking have fun with it.
This would bless me.
Yeah.
That tattoo would bless me too.
I think that's fucking hilarious, by the way. How long have you been Mr. X Persona?
Jim and I started doing radio shows, I want to say as far back as 2004.
Oh, really?
Yes. We had a show called Indoor Football Weekly, then Arena Football Weekly. And what Jim wanted to do is, because the show was on this thing called Netcasts, it was so over the top and so controversial, it's just audio only, that we never recorded or saved anything. Like if you didn't hear it live, it was gone.
Really?
Yes. So I was like, oh, I wish we had all those archives. So this probably went up to about 2016, and there were some different incarnations that kind of came and went with it as the internet changed. But that's how we have all those VIP plus pranks, the hardcore pranks, because Jim was doing them all along for the show, but some of them never came out. And I'm like, oh, you got like hundreds of these. You should put these on a CD. Well, then CDs are dead. You know, you can make a DVDs of these. No, the DVD's dead. Well, what do you got next? What exists? You got all these people who like your humor that are on you should give this content to them. You know, now you got a group who likes this stuff. You know, so so it's like tons of them that he has. It's like a back catalog.
So, well, would he just go on radio shows, or did he have? I mean, I guess I don't know. He would just visit.
So he would go on to different radio shows and prank them. And within kind of the fair use of that, if that's edited correctly and not used as a long period of time, that's how fair use. A lot of those radio shows don't exist anymore, so it's not like anybody's looking for it. But since they're such small radio shows, what ends up happening is if it's cut correctly, and usually it's more of it doesn't need to be cut like the Howard Stern ones are edited up over like a period of a couple days, but Jim's are like, he's got a chance to talk for about 30 seconds, and he's got to say one thing that's real gross and disgusting. Are going to get rid of him. So it's hard to continue on with the joke. That's why all of them are kind of the same, you know. But that's the thing about the defense of this is who's going to be out there to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I would also say that that's about as close to fair use as you could get. So it's audio only. We're redoing them. You know, they are edited to an extent. We're putting in all our own pictures, you know. So it's kind of more of a media project than just stealing somebody's song. And Jim's also on it, too. It doesn't mean he owns it, but that's why I do the intros and all that, to kind of make it a different thing. Also, the lady who's the African lady, I don't know if you've ever heard it, any of the VIP Plus pranks, I hired her, but to be able to have her license where I can use it on any platform, I had to pay her more money.
Oh.
So she did the voiceover, and I told her what to say. Then I paid her more so I can use it anywhere I want. Like, and now I own that performance.
No, I don't know what that is, but
if you listen to like the VIP Plus pranks or the beginning intro of the show, I hired a voice actress. I was looking for somebody who kind of had like a South African accent.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to find somebody who was kind of had like a younger, cheerful voice, a female, but had that just something that's different, but an announcer. And I found a lady who's got a real different voice, and I wrote it out. And I'm saying things like, I don't know if she knows what I'm saying, like Mr. X measures in and around 9. I don't even know. She doesn't know.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
So I wrote it out, and then I paid her more money so I can have the rights to do it, to earn money off of it. So one thing is to pay for a performance, and there's different kinds of rights, just like there are for music. Like you can have film festival rights for a song. You can have theatrical rights for a song in a movie. You can have television rights. You could have worldwide rights. So I paid her for the worldwide rights. I mean, it was like $40 more, and I can use it in any platform. I own it.
That's okay.
But so now I own that voiceover. I paid for it, but I lent it to Jim Terry TV. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, yes, I do. I understand what you're saying now. That's actually pretty cool. And you know what's funny? I keep asking freaking Outlaw I just sent him a message today too. I said, listen, I need somebody to freaking make it. Huh?
How'd you meet Outlaw?
Okay, so actually, I have I got off Facebook and I started going to Gab social media. and a friend on there that, you know, just somebody that I met on Gab Chat, actually, in the chat room. They, you know, we would often chat, and he's from England, actually. And he said, he knew I had Facebook because of my grandson and stuff. So I had that. And he said, I got a friend that's on Facebook. I want you to meet him. And so I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. And so he's like, just friend him, or he's going to send you a friend request. And I'm like, okay. So he did, but he had too many friends, so I couldn't be friends or whatever. But my profile is public anyways on Facebook. And so I was able to see him, and we were able to connect that way. And one day he just sent me a link to StreamYard, and it was a couple of weeks after I had did one of Paulie actually had me go on his show, because I had gone to the state fair and I videoed it and posted it. And I was freaking trolling Governor Waltz's booth at the state fair in Minnesota, at the Minnesota State Fair.
Okay.
And I was saying a lot of shit. And he didn't. Okay. Oh, look, I'm very political. I am, you know, I'm that person.
Wow.
I'm vocal. I'm political. I say exactly what I think, and I mean it, you know. And everybody who knows me in real life knows that it's just Gina. You know, and anyways, I have a small group of friends.
I understand. So since you've been doing this, have you been getting a lot of haters?
Well, just observing was the freaking out. Somebody gave me some advice to get boring real quick. And so that's kind of what I was trying to do right off the bat, after that fucking just observing really kind of just went nuts. She came over to he talked to her, and somehow
Who did? Outlaw or Jim?
Outlaw did. And somehow he had talked to her and said that she should come to my stream, my channel. So she showed up one day when I was streaming with I think Paul and Viper, and all of a sudden she starts telling me this story, and I was like, what? That don't make no sense. And why this and why that? And so things just didn't add up. Some of the things
I watched it. I saw it.
Yeah. So, you know, I was trying, and then she started the second time she came on, she was just being really weird. I just had to call her on her shit. And so I was just like, you know, if you fucking go to a convent, you should fucking know that they're going to ask you to give up everything. And plus, there's going to be a virgin. And I didn't tell her that, but you got to be a virgin, broad, to become a nun. Okay. Like most times. I
mean, can't you go in if you had something happen to you just to kind of get away from people? I mean, look at what's her name? Sister Act.
That's not how the Catholic Church. No, not that I'm aware of. I mean, I grew up Catholic, and not
so
that
did
I'm
I. Roman Catholic, and I was around a lot of Benedictine Catholics, which there were nurses and nuns, Benedictine monks.
Maybe then. I don't know, man. Not at my church. But I went to the cathedral in St. Paul. You know, I went to the big church. And,
yeah, sure.
You know, I don't know. Maybe, but I never.
I mean, I don't know either. I'm not going to pretend like I know everything about it. I don't. Yeah. But I did hear it. I do think something's wrong with that woman. She tagged us not too long ago. You know, mentioned us. I always say tagged, but mentioned us, like where you put, you know, Jim Terry Live or Jim Terry TV2. That way we see it in the mentions section of the comments. Mm-hmm. And I just responded and I said, you know, listen, you got some problems. I would appreciate if you don't tag us. It's ridiculous. This is Mr. X talking. You know, we don't want anything to do with anything you're saying. Please leave us alone. And she said that she was going to file a police report on me for stalking her. And I was like, please, I pray to God that you not, because she records everything. Not only do I want you to file this police report, but please record it so I can hear this and play it, because I'm going to probably do a parody of it, because I was like, oh yeah, hey, this guy responded to me because I put him in a mention of the comments. Oh, what's he like? Well, he's got a mask on and a cowboy hat. So wait, hold on. What's this guy's name? His name's Mr. X. And I mean, I can go back and forth with this all night. Okay, so what is he like? He says he's a character on Jim's show. So he's not a real person. No. So you're the same lady who fucking called in, Hannibal Lecter. He scared you too. You want to file a restraining order on fucking the Wicked Witch of the West because she said she's coming to get you. I mean, these people are idiots.
Mm-hmm.
So I told her to do it because where does Mr. X live? How can you get to Mr. X? How
Right.
can you serve him? Can I serve Anthony Hopkins or Hannibal Lecter? I mean, it's like this woman's got some real problems.
Nuts. Yeah, she came in and then she started the next day. When I kind of bitched or kind of called her out her shit, she started posting something out of context, saying that she was all worried. She wanted me to vouch for her because she had called Jim in the middle of the night. I said, honey, he's probably just sleeping or out with friends, or maybe he's getting laid. Whatever. He's late. I don't think he's thinking anything. It's just like telling her, and she's just freaking freaking out about it. And I'm like, oh God, one of these ladies.
And the cardinal rule that she broke is anytime somebody runs over to Salty and complains about Jim, we're done with them. Like anybody who wants to get a few bucks off Jim, that's like their extortion against Jim. Like, I'm going to go over there. Okay, go ahead. I'm not giving you anything. It's just, and then of course, all this is this guy's a frauditor. This guy's this and that. There was some guy who posted something that was a frauditor website. And this guy's talking about how dumb Jim is. But this guy's so dumb that he used all Jim's intellectual property. And like, if you want to make a video saying, hey, this is the reasons why I think Jim's wrong or he's right or I like him or I dislike him, like, you could do that. That's fine. But the minute you start taking his videos for like 5 minutes at a time, like, you're just asking us to strike it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what happened. So, I mean, that kind of stuff happens all the time. But that woman is definitely a professional victim.
Yes. That's exactly what it is. It was fucking weird. And so she, I think my friend, she sucked him in for a while and he was believing her and all this shit. I think he finally wised up and he convinced her to take the videos down of me. But I just, but in the meantime, I don't even want to, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't have to get into it that deeply. I mean, I know the story, but
it was interesting. And I was like, what the fuck, lady? She was pissing me off and I could see it right away. And I just, when you ignore them, then they go away because,
Well, there's been so many people that say they're going to stop Jim. They're going to stop this. They're going to stop that. They do it for 2 or 3 shows and then they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once they've earned their money, their super chats and there's really nothing new to talk about. And most of the stuff we've proven wrong anyway. The stuff that's like has the ability to be proven wrong, then they rile up their people, they move on to something else.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So that's it's funny because that's how I met Outlaw is through Gab, and I just find it really weird though. I always think that Gab is a fucking psyop personally.
Okay.
But that's me. I think she's actually, that lady might be part of a professional trolls. Like, that's what they do all day.
You talk about Just Observing?
Yeah.
See, what I know that it is I know that she was some kind of a client for Jim.
Okay.
Jim helped her in some way. Like, as, I don't know if it's private investigating. I don't know. I don't keep involved with Jim's private investigating side. Right. So I really don't know, but in some way they were working together. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that like she's just a person who has continuous problems.
She does. And
so like, was she a salty plant or any of that kind of stuff? No, not to my understanding of the situation. I might be wrong about that, but
no, I think that she's with that Sleeper Cell network.
Well, it's because misery loves company. Those people join up because they're all of the same ilk, but I don't think they know each other. Like, no. I wouldn't be shocked if Sleeper Cell and Candace Howard know each other. I mean, they're obviously from the same region of the United States.
You know what? I think that is possible as well because of the things that he was saying.
Right.
So I picked up on that as well. I mean, now it's all clues, right? They're all
Yep.
clues. But yeah, it's I find that whole
And the problem with all this is, see, like, for example, this guy who was here, this is like, oh, stop talking to fraud guys. You said that like 2 hours ago. Like one person says it and another person just hears a bit of it and they're like, yeah, that's it. And they don't really dig into it. Just like that article Jim had from the Tampa Tribune in 2004, the guy who wrote the article said he read a PDF of somebody who didn't like Jim that said Jim was banned from Pinellas County Schools. We obviously proved that wrong for the entire time. But once you get that into print, then it's like, here's the perfect thing where Michael Jackson was called the king of pop. I think it was Elizabeth Taylor who said, oh, he's the king of pop and rock and roll. And then that nickname stuck. And then Howard Stern's like, well, I'm the king of all media. And then that stuck. So if you have something and some people say enough of it in the newspaper, like, hey, this guy's frauding people, and then it catches on. The Tampa Tribune that article came out June 28th, 2004, and that guy was gone. That reporter was gone in July 2004. But people still want to take the word of that article with false information. I mean, hell, they fact check presidents, and during debates. So I don't think this guy knew everything about Jim as truth versus somebody who works as an administrator in a Pinellas County schools right now who has access to the fucking computers. You know what I mean? It's like that guy hasn't been with that newspaper like in 18 years.
After a few shows with Outlaw, I like, what the fuck? Who is Jim Terry? What the fuck? So of course I went investigator.
Sure.
And I had to find out, what's this guy? Because I'm hearing all kinds of shit, but I'm at the thought process of like, if pictures or it didn't happen, you know what I mean? I don't know who this guy is, never heard of him. And so I did a lot of digging, and on the surface, you find all this shit.
Right.
But if you dig and you dig and you dig, you can find, old clips of him, from decades ago, really, him just pranking just people in the stands and shit like that.
Sure.
Or just, and so I was like, so he's got his own little fan base already that people know and recognize him. I mean, maybe in his area, I don't know, or in his career or whatever. He has his own fan base already. He has that. And then of course, there's you. And of course I dug a little bit there too. Cause after I called him and freaking was bitching about that, some fucking thing. I don't remember what it was, but I felt like really dogged by Outlaw Rick. And I don't know. I called.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened with the Doug thing in Outlaw.
I don't know either. And I'm okay with it because he's working through his shit. And I love him, and I pray that the Lord will minister to him. And
what happened with Doug? Doug Hutton, you mean?
I don't know who Doug is. Oh,
no thanks.
F-32 guy, that guy?
No. And Doug Hutton is the guy who's got no thanks the show. I know who F-32 is because that person posts all the time. Not all the time, but every once in a while over at Jim's. It's another hater of Jim's.
Yeah, he was trying to get me to hate on Jim, and I'm like, well, I
Did you talk to him?
He was all over our Outlaws show in the beginning and trying to.
But like, you never spoke to him on the phone or anything.
No, oh no.
Or like you never heard his voice.
No.
Mm-mm. Okay, so because I'm not even sure if it's a him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they were trying to convince me that he was a scammer and this and that, and I'm like, look, it's a business. It's a business. He's in business. It's honestly, he's in the entertainment.
Right.
Field is
entertainment. He's in athletics. He's in, doing the private investigating thing. Obviously, private investigating isn't entertainment, but it can mold over to that. But it's that one lady, it's that one butthurt lady and a handful of her friends, and then the other people along the way who grew to dislike Jim, who are YouTubers, and they all have about 5 or 6 names. So, Polish Girl in Vegas and all these kind of people, they're all the same. And then maybe they have like an uncle or somebody who's a buddy, that's got a jean jacket that works in, the Indian reservation somewhere in Tulsa. Those kind of people are probably friends or distant acquaintances, maybe a brother-in-law that, that help those people out. And so it's the same 5 or 6 people over and over again.
Yeah. Well, yeah, all I know is that I just in the beginning, it was weird. Outlaw actually ended up getting monetized within the 3 weeks. He kept, it's because you're here, Gina. It's because you're here, and then he would fucking porn bomb and shit all the time, and he would do it to get a rise out of me. I kind of
porn bombing.
Yeah, he was. I mean, the last time I was just so appalled because he had some dude fisting a dude.
Who, Jim was doing that or Outlaw?
No, Outlaw on his show. And he wouldn't let anybody be a mod. And I kept asking him, I want to kick some of these people out because it's not okay with me. And so when that happened and he left it up for like what seemed like the longest time, I was really put off by that. And I was like disgusted. I'm like, I don't want to be part of that.
Right. My biggest problem with Outlaw is not him personally, was him having no mods made it no fun to come in there.
No, because it was a constant fight.
Right.
And so I tried to help him, but he's stuck, he has issues right now, and I just pray for him.
Okay. I don't know anything about that, but
yeah. Another day. Yeah. But yeah, so it was fun because I didn't know him, and he looked like a fucking mad scientist when he sent me a link to StreamYard, and I said, yeah, I'll come on. I'm just painting anyways, because that's what I used to do. Is I used to go on DLive. We've never heard of. I don't know if you've heard of DLive before.
No.
And so I would stream on DLive a couple years ago when I was just painting, and I only started painting a couple years ago actually, and it was when I was going through a breakup. And so the Lord just kind of put it on my heart to start using acrylic paint, and I'm going to try that. It kept me busy, and I painted a lot of stuff over the last couple of years. But I really never painted before this, so it's kind of fun. Yeah.
Hey, you got it done. I mean, you doing artwork I like.
Yeah, it's fun. I like this kind of stuff, and I like being creative like that, so it's fun. But I better go. I gotta get ready for stupid work now.
Okay, well, I'll let you go. Have a nice night. Nice catching up with you.
Thank you, and I will. I'll seal this up and send it out.
Yeah, I want this. I mean, I could send you the money. Don't send it overnight. Don't spend. Don't spend a ton of money. Do like a slow priority.
I know they're never gonna get to where you are in one fucking day.
No, there's no way. Besides, that goes to a company that I have that takes that, the box. It's not smart to get your mail at your house here for a number of reasons, but the main reason is people fucking steal it. So I'd rather it go there, and then they can control it than they send me a text message when it's there.
That's what I always have, like my packages and stuff sent to a PO box. Well, I just got rid of my PO box, but yeah, I will send this out when I'm done with it. I want to seal it. That could take a couple of days because I want to have and I wanted to mess with the toe a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I'll leave it alone. Well, it's just little dots here and there. I'm just looking at it. I'm like, oh, it looks great.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I like it.
Really fun. I love it.
I want to put it on my wall.
Do it.
I will.
It looks brighter in some light and not in others. I don't know.
I like it.
Good.
All right, I'm getting out of here then. Have a good night.
Yeah.
I'll see you later. Peace.
Bye. All right, I'm out. Good night.